ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Something weird's going on with YouTube. Hold on.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
I'll have to come back to that in a second. Something weird's happening over there on YouTube. It won't let me turn on monetization for my videos. Like, it lets me turn it on, and then when you hit save, obviously you select on, then hit save. It says unable to save your current settings. But it's only on that video. Weird. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out in a minute. Glad you guys are here. Let's try this. Hold on. One more thing. Done. Save. Usually they give me like a little yellow thing where I can't monetize it at first and I have to review it. That's normal, but not even being able to turn monetization on is different for sure. Did it save? Oh, it said it would try again in 5 seconds. Hold on just a second. Chat. We're about to get started. Okay, we had trouble saving your video, retrying in 5 seconds. Well, you just keep trying there. I'll roll the intro.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. How's it going, everybody? I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I'm not like banned from monetization. I can monetize my videos. They almost always end up with a yellow, which means you only get about 1/10 of the ad revenue because they'll only use advertisers that are okay with like me cursing or whatever, right? But then I always review them, and several days later, this is why I used to not post the replays until 3, 4, 5 days later. Then several days later, it'll go green, usually. Some of them stay. I don't even post the like shorts and stuff until they're green. But yeah, usually it'll go green and I'll get the full ad revenue, but I don't know what the hell's going on right now. It just won't let me turn it on for this video. It just it like shows like a little status bar, like it's trying to load, and it says failed to save. But like I'm not banned from the your video. I just got an email today that said your video is suitable for all advertisers. Your video is suitable for all advertisers. Huh. I thought at first I was like, oh great, I'm going to refresh and I'm going to be banned, but doesn't seem like that's it either. We'll keep looking at it. Thank you guys for joining us. I'd rather you watch on Twitch anyway. So here we are. Welcome everybody. Hey, from Massachusetts. Looking forward to yet another great show. Welcome, Thorn. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, guys. What's up? Been another long day, I guess. You guys got anything going on? I saw people were talking about the Supreme Court's going to hear Trump's challenge to presidential immunity. That's set for August. It was April. We were having that same thing. Someone put August by accident. They meant April. His immunity claim. Trump's immunity claim has been taken up by the Supreme Court, keeping D.C. 2020 election trial paused. It says the Supreme Court on Wednesday said it would decide whether former President Donald Trump is entitled to broad immunity from prosecution for acts allegedly committed while in office, teeing up another blockbuster election year showdown that could have major ramifications for the federal criminal cases against him. The unsigned order from the High Court granted special counsel Jack Smith's request for the justices to decide the issue. The justices are set to decide the question whether, and if so, to what extent does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office. The court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, will hear arguments in the case during the week of April 22nd. Its order indicates...
Precious_Beast just resubscribed for 16 months. Good evening. Good evening, Cityscape at Sunset.
Thank you for the resubscription. Its order indicates that proceedings in the case will remain on hold until it issues a decision expected by the end of June. The intervention from the court marks the second time in a month that the justices have weighed in on a case with tremendous implications for the former president. Earlier in February, the court heard arguments over whether Trump can be excluded from Colorado's primary ballot over his actions surrounding the attack on the Capitol January 6, 2021. The court has never before decided whether a former president is immune from criminal liability for allegedly illegal acts committed while in office. Trump is the first former president to be indicted, and he has pleaded not guilty. The court has, however, said that a president is entitled to absolute immunity from civil liability for official acts. So we're talking about criminal versus civil. I can't really get mad. I always figured this was going to go to the Supreme Court. I can't get mad at them, and if this was any other person, I wouldn't want them to be rushing. Like, I know a lot of people are frustrated with like the timeline, and this slows down the cases even more. Whether you like Trump or not, the cases should continue to whether he can clear his name or be held accountable, one of the two. But I can't. I mean, they wouldn't. Then you know what I mean. They wouldn't speed this up for any other reason. So do what they got to do. But it seems like that's going to be heard by the court. I mentioned today that I hadn't covered Phil in a while. And I honestly didn't think Phil had been making videos. I just seen a bunch of his shit whining and wasn't paying attention to him making videos. But it seems like he's back at it again. So we'll see what he's got going on tonight. Let's see. What has he posted recently? Nikki Haley throws another celebratory victory rally after her latest crushing loss to Trump in Michigan, where she got absolutely crushed. A ruckus crowd of tens. And then the Westbrook cameo at the end. What is this? Hey, quick theory. Hey, Phil. So quick theory is you've mentioned this whole time Trump is a wartime president. Also, Trump declared a national emergency on March 13, 2020. Only the president who declares a national emergency can remove us from said declaration, correct? Now Trump's... by the way, this isn't true. Only the president can absolve a national emergency after the president declares a national emergency. If that person changes, any president can do it, right? Now Trump refers to himself like Abe Lincoln, who had the Civil War fought during his presidency, 1861 to 1865, 4 years, 14 days. Could our hidden war being fought right under our noses be coming to an end March 27th, 2020 to 2024, 4 years and 14 days? I understand in your busy life if you don't respond, but thank you you for reading. Jeff, sent from Jeff's iPhone. I wonder if that's Jeff, the famous lawyer that's taken Phil on in California. I'm not sure. Anyways, Phil shares this. It says Jeff is a thanker. Phil shares some posts from Total Disclosure, which is Alessandro. Alessandro's in our chat, by the way. And he says, the devil doesn't sleep, neither should you. Rules for life. The devil doesn't sleep, neither should you. Never give up, because to give up is to die. 3, you decide when you're done. Nobody else does. 4, you don't need hands to suffocate an enemy. 5, use every tool in your arsenal. 6, never underestimate your opponent. 7, the moment you let off the gas because you think you've won is the moment you start to lose. Shares that post. What is this? Badboys.us. What's he even fucking It's showing a, I guess an election map. Is that what this is? Hold on. Drop it. Load. What's going on? Come over here. Oh, the free federal crime database is what it just said. Why is everything so slow? What'd you guys do to my computer? Oh, there it goes. Now the screens are rebooting. Hold on just a second. This says bad-boys.us. What is the key to this map? It says visitors, case search, sealed. Oh, this is the sealed indictments. Oh, fuck. That's why it's taking so long to load. Look at all the fucking dots. Who cares? They've been parading around these sealed indictments for fucking ever. What? When is something going to happen from this? When? Oh, God. Democrats are dividing camp over border economy wars, population control, and treasonous politicians in America. Who the fuck are you? Prices, chemical additives, toxic preservatives, artificial food, and know him. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, go start a pistol. How about that? Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We'll clean up Facebook in a minute, or I will. That got old quick. Let me post everything I want to post repeatedly. Like, goddamn. Fucking kick rocks. Anyways, back to Phil's post. What else we got here? Y'all want to have a look at this site after he shares that site with all the sealed indictments and what states they're in. Then we get this video gem from him. This is like Brooks and Dunn or some shit. Who is this? Jesus Christ. I know. Hold on just a second. Montgomery Gentry, not Brooks and Dunn. Montgomery Gentry. There's too many bands with two names. I know the music's not working. It's a Telegram thing. Hold on just a second. Reload, you piece of shit. All right, here you go. It's just good enough to get a copyright strike anyway, so we'll see what happens. No wonder my video's not going to be monetized. He's over here playing fucking famous country music while he's just driving around dancing. Oh, God. Phil. When is this ever a good look for a grown man to do? Has it ever been a good look for a man to just dance to music in his car and record it for his friends? Maybe it's just me. Caught me, sucker. What? Caught you what? Caught you being fucking retarded? I don't... Okay. So he shares this. This song is What Do You Think About That? Or something like that. And it's basically... The first verse of the song is like his new neighbor doesn't like his shit that he's got in his yard. So he's like... I'm going to paint a sign that says I was here first and you're rambling. Don't rattle me. I don't understand. Phil's not country. Nobody's complaining about what's in his yard. People are complaining about the scams that he's running, the ads that he's using, Goldco, 7K, the people that are supporting you, the homes that you fucking bought, your past criminal actions from 2010. I think he's complaining about shit in your yard. That'd be weird. But I don't think anybody's complaining about shit in your yard. He then shares a post from the Daily Caller about the presidential immunity appeal. I wonder what SCOTUS will decide, he says. Then he shares this video that we're going to watch tonight that he did called 34. And then this weird fucking, whatever the hell this eye contact video is. Hold on. Here you go. I'll slow it down for you just in case. All right, you're done. You're banned. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I guess I did catch you. Have fun. Does anybody know what the fuck this is? Like he just posted this after he did his live stream, I guess. I'm not sure why he would post this. It's from The Wolf of Wall Street. I don't even remember that part. I know it's creepy as fuck. And then, so you guys didn't know, maybe he's... I'd like to have some fucking Quaaludes. Anyways, and then if you didn't know, his video was supposed to come out today, right? His response to Nick Alvear's Good Line Films, which is a good movie. Go watch it. It puts all the information kind of together in one spot. I can't vouch for any of the other work because it's fucking ridiculous. But... go check out the one film. You can find it on the Rumble channel too. But his response was supposed to come out. And I want to tell you guys, like, I think he'll have a good response. You can call me a shill or whatever the fuck you want. I think he'll have a good response. I think that he has money. I think that he can hire a production company. I think that there is a way that they can spin it to make shed Phil in good light. I think he'll have a good response. I don't think he'll spare any expenses. I think he probably outsourced every bit of it. I think he'll probably get other people to speak in it. Maybe lawyers or defamation lawyers or fucking criminal lawyers. Or I think he'll have a good response. So I wouldn't sit here like everybody's like, oh, it's going to suck. It's going to be so horrible. And I'm a network engineer, so I learned how to buy a website and forward it to another website. Whatever the fuck that means. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good response. Like, we're going to watch it and we're going to cover it. We're going to talk about it. Do I believe it? No. But he's making a propaganda film. It doesn't really matter whether I believe it. He's got a message to get across. It's probably going to be very well produced, very well put together. And it'll probably be very well received by his audience. I wouldn't be surprised to have his audience going around sharing everywhere that someone talks shit about Phil. It's just going to happen. You should just go ahead and put that in your brains. The people running around Twitter, it's like, oh my God, it's going to suck so bad. It's going to be horrible. Phil can't make a film. Phil doesn't have to make a film. He's got a ton of fucking money. Someone else is making a film. Either way, you should be expecting that. And his followers are going to eat that shit up. They always do. His followers always eat that shit up. That's the first thing they're going to fucking share in the chat as soon as someone says something about Phil or the girl or 2010 or the Scranton Times. It's the first thing he's going to put in there. So just be ready for that. It would very much surprise me if he pays a production company or even did it himself and comes out with like a shitty fucking film. That's like not well produced, not shot well, not put together well. The script isn't to get. I mean, it's probably going to be a fucking good film. He's paying somebody to handle that for him. So there you go. Oh, I see the Wolf of Wall Street thing. And he says it will be free for all. It's at quantumfilms.philgodlewski.live, and it'll be free for all. This is what he was doing. I think part of the problem is like you're not supposed to Leonardo DiCaprio is not a good guy. You're not supposed to idolize Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. Just like people fucking keep sharing memes idolizing like Patrick Bateman from like American Psycho. You're not supposed to idolize. They're not. It's not a hero story. They literally rob people blind with fucking starting with penny stocks. Like this is, you're not supposed to idolize these people. Like I don't get that part. They're not supposed to be your heroes, right? Like you're not supposed to try to be like them. I saw a meme the other day that actually had like Patrick Bateman and the Wolf of Wall Street and a couple more people, and it was like, this is the problem. Like you weren't supposed to grow up to try to be these people. You were supposed to watch it, see how bad they did, and be like, I don't want to be like that. The fuck? He starts naming people in the crowd then. He's like, this is Jeremy. This is Lisa Fox. This is Chef 107, Anthony D. And last but not least, Nick Alvear. Oh, that one's supposed to be Nick Alvear. Then he says, I'm seriously the funniest person I know. Just playing, Nick. Don't do another film. Oh, wow. I just had the first idea ever in my life. We should totally remake the video above on the Phil Cruise. I just had the first idea. Did you mean best? The first idea ever in my life. We should totally remake the video above where they're like humming and thumping their chest on the cruise that they're super going to do, right? They're going to do it. They're guys, they're going to do it. He shares this YouTube. Is this a YouTube list? Conspiracy music list. Conspiracy Music Guru is the channel. Oh, God. I'd rather listen to Alex Jones's indie rock. This is Phil's new jam, I guess. A Jason Q wet dream. Yeah, especially if it says Jews enough. Imagine your last name being Janowitzki, and you're like, it's the Jews' fault. Okay, I can't do no more of this. He then shares sponsors from tonight's live. Way more energy throughout the day. Skin looks healthier, helps with digestion. My stomach feels better. Hair and nails grew faster and looked healthier than just feeling better and healthier overall. Fieldofgreens.com. Use code Phil. Offer in compromise. And it says you using Tax Network USA to file your offer in compromise OIC will significantly increase your chances of getting a settlement approved. Our licensed enrolled agents, CPAs, tax attorneys will analyze your situation and determine the best approach in settling your back taxes through an offer in compromise. So he's he's advertising for back tax help or owing tax or a settlement. It says installment agreement. There's several installment agreements available with the IRS, such as Fresh Start Initiative. I don't know why people, like, if you're going to owe taxes, when I owe taxes, I want to file as early as I possibly can, rather than just thinking, oh man, I might owe 1,000, I might owe 5,000. I don't know. I'm going to wait till the last day. You can go ahead and file. The only person you owe then is your CPA, and then you get plenty of time to pay the government, right? But you can go ahead and fucking file. You get time to pay them. I don't know why everybody waits to the end. And then it like surprises them. Like, oh man, we thought it was bad. We didn't know it was this bad. And they wait to the fucking last day to file. Penalty abatements, and it says tnusa.com/Phil. Onboard HD camera, capture the night's secrets. Live video recording, relive your nocturnal adventures. Waterproof design, brave the elements without a second thought. Powerful infrared illumination, navigate the unseen. Ultra long range, scout beyond the ordinary limits. SD card integration, save every moment seamlessly. And then basically the worst night vision that you could ever buy in the world. Oh shit, that wasn't the right one. Hold on. What is it? It's tack right Phil. This is probably I spelled it wrong. TACRIGHTPHIL.com. This is probably a worse investment than your fucking hiking chainsaw. What's, if you want to take it hiking with you or whatever, it's tiny, it's compact. I use it all the time, man. I'm a big hiker. It's got like a 2-inch cut. The amazing Tackrite night vision binoculars experience daylight clarity over 300 meters at night. These things are like fucking stupid expensive too. And you can buy shitty fucking night vision on Amazon for cheaper than you can buy it through Phil's fucking links. A better quality too. If you look up the specs and the prices, you can find much better quality. On Amazon for much cheaper. If this is something you're really into. Yeah, like the first one I brought up is almost an exact match. As soon as I hit it, I went to Amazon and typed in Tackrite night vision, and the very first thing that pops up looks almost exactly like the Phil one. $129, $139, $89, like $80. It looks just like the ones Phil's selling. Plus, with Amazon, at least you know how to return the motherfucker. Anyways, he's pushing his night vision goggles again. Catch him doing shit in your yard in the dark or whatever. He says, by the way, Chester Bennington surrounded by his family just weeks before his death, he puts in quotes, before via suicide. He shares the Numb video. I can't play that. I know that'll get caught for copyright. Numb from Linkin Park. And it says, he puts in quotes, because everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you. The next post says, Numb, official music video 4K upgrade for Linkin Park. And it says, tell me, what do you see? This is at the 1 minute 25 second mark. Let me actually open this video. Numb official 4K upgrade. That's the same video link. I can't play it. Sorry. I do like the song though. One minute, 25 second mark in the video. I just saw that. Where did it go? Hold on, I'm trying to find the exact same screenshot he was just showing, but give me just a second. Oh, right there. All right, here's the screenshot he's showing. And he says, it says, tell me, what do you see? This is at the 1 minute, 25 second minute mark. Yes, the 125-minute mark or the 1:2 plus 5-minute mark, or yet still the 1:7-minute mark. Tell me, what do you see? You guys got any guesses? Here, let me help you out. Then he zooms in on just the dude's shirt and says, tell me, what do you see? He shows us this image. He says, let me help you some more. Tell me, what do you see? It's Mark Penny. It's Mark Penane, okay? It's Mark Penny. Then he shares this. It says, can you see it now? B37 or 3176 World War II, U.S. Army armband, MP, military police, IR 31 Tango. Get it? Then he says, tell me, why would Joe Hahn of Lincoln Park wear a military police armband during the video Numb? What do you know, Joe Hahn? H-A-H-N, by the way. I think he's just wearing a military jacket, no? I don't think it has anything to do with the armband. He's just wearing a... I've seen tons of these like field jackets that have like fucking MP or something on the sleeve, right? I don't think he specifically like bought the jacket and an armband. I think he's just wearing a jacket that already has the MP patch on it. Maybe not. Maybe Phil's got it all figured out. There you go. The jacket. I think he's just wearing a field jacket and it's already got the patch on it. Whatever. So Phil thinks this is a big conspiracy and he's leaving it to his followers to figure out. Now we are going to watch his video from tonight. I got to go over there and grab it. We're gonna watch that. But before we get started, we were talking about Alessandro for a second, and I'm not sure if this is like a mix between both of us or if they're just really mad at Alessandro. I don't know what's going on. But you guys know the autistic foot potion, right? Apparently, the autistic foot potion that, you know, heals the kids is on a little bit of a trying to save face campaign or some shit. Trying to do better, trying to be better, trying to prove all the haters wrong. So they just recently put out a video. I haven't even watched it all. It's fucking pretty boring, but I haven't watched it all yet. But this is what it's called. It says the truth about Ari with Donald and Barbara, squashing those rumors. Squashing those rumors. Now you're saying, but well, who's Donald and Barbara? Well, they're this couple, and if you can tell anything by that hairdo, no, they don't seem like they're on some type of weird religious health grift that's healing people. Sure. Look at that fucking hairdo. Both of them. He looks like a fucking faith healing preacher who takes money, and this is his perfect trophy wife, does it not? If you showed up and this was the pastor at a church, this is the pastor, and this was his wife, are you fucking kidding me? You'd be like, oh, these seem like cool guys. At first, I thought it was Tammy Hammer Nation, but I guess that's not her. That's not her. So these are the people who own AHF, Alpha Hotel Foxtrot, AHF Herbals. And they're the people that actually make the foot potion. Then somehow Alpa and Nick ran into it, and they're like, Nick said in one of the videos, he's like, oh my God, as soon as I saw what Barbara and Donald were doing, I was like, we gotta do this. We gotta. So really, apparently they have nothing to do with it. Like the process of finding it, making it, refining it, figuring out that if you rub it on your toes just right, it cures autism. They had nothing to do with any of that. These people were already selling this. All they did was give it a name and some advertising behind it, because at the time, the doobie smoker at the Capitol or whatever was getting some good press. Okay. So let's listen to this intro right quick. This is their little commercial. This is intro right quick, and then I want to read the description of this video. This was their first video pushing back against these rumors. This was from 5 days ago. I know they did one tonight with like all the mamas of autistic kids who believe this fucking helps them. But here, this is the one from 5 days ago.
Step program requiring a 12-day detox first, which helps eliminate any heavy
Requiring a 12-day detox first. You just rub it on your tootsie toes. Next thing you know, autism's got to goes.
metals and toxins.
Sorry, his weak ass fucking voice. They say I have a fake accent. I would fake any fucking voice before I would use that one.
This is then followed by autism support and is recommended to use for as long as results are desired. The formulation contains
Oh my God.
Hello, welcome to
Okay,
the
so this is Alpa.
Stoney. I'm joined by two beautiful souls, Donald and Barbara Hepler, and today we are going to be
And this is Donald and Barbara. They have changed their looks a little bit, but trust me, this is them. Let's see. This is the school they went to, the School of Natural Healing, founded in 1953 by Dr. John R. Christopher. It is not recognized or accredited in any way, shape, or form. Okay, it's a herbal medicine and natural healing school, of course, in the state of Utah. But there's no accreditation whatsoever. This would be like if I started a school for fucking drinking fucking Propel water. And you're like, well, I got a degree in drinking Propel water. And they're like, well, what from what school? Does anybody recognize it? No. Just some guy started it, so I went to it.
talking all things RE. And before I invite them to speak this evening, here in the UK, I just wanted to connect with everyone who's here. I know my show is heavily censored, and I haven't done a show in about 3 months, I think. The last one I did was about RE with a lovely lady called Rochelle, who works at an autistic center in Idaho. And since my last show, there has been, shall I say, a lot of noise about RE, free publicity.
A lot of noise, free publicity. So is it good or bad?
Squash all the rumors today about what we've been faced. And joined with me is Donald and Barbara, who will set the record straight on a lot of these terrible things that are being said about RE.
By the way, if you want to save a whole lot of you and you don't want to watch this, I still got to watch the rest of it. But the biggest takeaway I got out of it was this guy, when they started talking about drawing out heavy metals, he basically said the oil in their foot rub is like a magnet. Laverne Cox. Oh no. It's like a magnet. So that's why it works. When asked why do we use the feet or the navel? And he's like, well, you know, you can put garlic on your feet and taste it. Yeah. Which brings up, do you guys have you guys ever got a IV flush and tasted like metal or salts in the back of your throat? You know what I'm talking about? When you have an IV poured in, right, a catheter, and they come to flush it with saline, and you can taste either like metalish, like salt in the back of your throat. You know that only happens to a small percentage of people. That not everybody. I thought everybody did that. It's actually genetic. So like, I brought it up to my dad one day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I know the same. I noticed the same thing." But we were talking to another family member, and they're like, "What are you talking about? You taste shit that goes in your vein?" And I'm like, "Yeah, don't you?" And I started looking it up. It's actually genetic. Not everybody can do that. I just thought it happened to everybody. But there you go. Garlic. The reason garlic works, when you put garlic on your feet and then you can taste it, this actually happens to a whole lot more people, the garlic thing, is because the chemical in garlic that gives it that taste is your skin is really good at separating water and oil and keeping water where it's supposed to go and oil where it's supposed to go, okay? Your skin is really good at separating water and oil and keeping water where it's supposed to go and oil where it's supposed to go. The chemical that's in garlic that gives garlic its taste is actually acts like water sometimes and acts like oil sometimes. And it bypasses the body's defense on the bottom of the feet, and it gets past the things that keep water out, moisture out, as pretending to be oil, and it keeps the oil stuff out, or the oil defenses by pretending to be like a water, and it gets in your bloodstream and you can taste it. There's actually, I found a video. Oh, I might still have it open. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Chemistry can do some wild tricks with food.
This is like a kid's chemistry channel or something on PBS.
Literally, in some cases. Here's a party trick to demo your chemistry prowess, depending on the party. So here's what you do. Before the party gets rocking, in a different room from the demo area, take a clove of raw garlic and slice it in half. Put this in a garbage bag and tie it up to contain the smell. We'll explain that later. Now, in a different room that doesn't smell like garlic, take off your shoes and socks. Still with me? Stick your foot in the bag and rub the garlic on the bottom of your foot. Give it about an hour.
1 hour later.
And you should start to taste garlic.
This doesn't prove that we can pull out illness to the bottom of our feet. I know there's a bunch of old wives' tales about onion slices and sweet potato pie and all kinds of shit in your sock.
I'm definitely getting like waves of garlic flavor now. It's not super strong, but it's definitely there. How are you doing this?
Yeah, there's sort of a weird metallic-y flavor, and
Well, that's a fucking straight up lie, Mariah, but thanks.
occasionally I'm like smelling it much stronger than the room background smells.
Yeah, the odor of garlic is just sticking the room at this point.
Yeah, but it came out of nowhere.
It's not because you have secret garlic taste buds on your feet. It's because the molecules responsible for garlic smell can penetrate your skin, get into your blood, and travel to your mouth and nose where you suddenly start to sense garlic. Chief among these molecules is allicin. See that oxygen with a double bond to sulfur? That looks a lot like the key feature in this molecule, dimethyl sulfoxide. DMSO is notoriously good at penetrating our skin. It can even carry other chemicals along with it. Chemists are extra careful when working with DMSO, wearing gloves and other protective equipment. You know how oil and water don't mix? Our skin has layers that repel both oil and water, which is one reason it's such a good barrier. DMSO and allicin have a little bit of both kinds of chemical properties, an oxygen for hydrogen bonding with watery stuff, and hydrocarbon tails for oily stuff. They act a little like oil, a little like water, so that garlic flavor slips right through the skin, into your blood, pops up in your nose and mouth, and voila! Oh, and we use those garbage bags, so it's not the smell of garlic in the room that's tricking your senses. You are actually tasting allicin that went through your foot. Give this food chemistry trick a spin and let us know in the comments how it works out for you.
There you go.
Oh, wait, tasting with your feet isn't the only chemistry food trick out there.
It goes through your feet. It goes through your feet in your bloodstream, and then you can test it. There you go. You can taste it in the back of your mouth. This doesn't prove that he uses this. The reason I brought all this up is he used this to prove that rubbing oil on your feet pulls out heavy metals. It's like, you can put garlic on your feet and you can taste it. Okay. Then he's like, oh, our oil blend is like a magnet. No, it's not. And if a magnet works, why wouldn't we just buy a magnet, put it in our sock, and keep it for life rather than having to apply fucking hundreds of dollars of oil on our feet every night when we go to bed and buy more when we run out? Doesn't make very much sense. But anyways, back to the rebuttal.
I just want to check in on everyone, see how everyone is. Are you feeling the energies at the moment? January started really intensely. We're going to be hit with a full moon, and everything is rapidly changing by the day. So welcome, Donald. Welcome, Barbara. How are you doing?
We're great. We appreciate you taking us on.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say to you both that
Never trust a man with four names, by the way.
I'm sorry that we're having to actually even have a show like this to tackle controversial things that are being said about Ari. And but it's the nature of the beast. Donald, you and I have had many conversations behind the scenes, and you explained to me and put my heart at rest with the spiritual warfare that we're going through at the moment. And you've not faced this in your own life too. But over the last few weeks, there have been some very malicious claims that a video has been made circulating that Ari's a snake oil, that we abuse children, that we are scammers, that this is an essential oil, that we got reported to the FDA. And in fact, it's just one very, very satanic individual. And when I say satanic, I call him that because he follows the satanic calendar. I wouldn't be surprised him and his missus practice the occult. But it's very sad that I've ignored.
What was that? What? When I say satanic, talking about the person who's putting down Ari, when I say satanic, I mean they follow the satanic calendar. And I wouldn't be surprised if him and his missus worship Satan.
Oil that we got reported to the FDA. And in fact, it's just one very, very satanic individual. And when I say satanic, I call him that because he follows the satanic calendar. I wouldn't be surprised him and his missus practice the occult. But it's very sad that I've ignored it. I've ignored it for so long, Barbara and Donald, and I've kept my head up high with integrity and love in my heart and complete confidence in what we are doing, because honestly, I have had a lot of angry people email me upset and saying, Alpa, you need to speak up. If Ari gets shut down for any reason, what will I do? You know, what's happening? So it's caused a lot of unrest.
So it's her fans. It's her fans that are like, oh my God, you've got to fix this, because if this mean, evil, satanic man who's questioning whether this is even legitimate to treat autism is real or not, then where are we going to get our snake oil? So it was approached very aggressively. I don't know if she's got a concussion. I don't know how close Nick's been to her and what his reach is. He seems like a small man. Either way, it says if we go from that and then we read this description, I'll watch the rest of it later and give you the highlights. The description says, "Hey all, join me live tonight with Donald, the beautiful soul that makes Ari happen, where we will be joined by special guests to discuss what Ari is, how it's made, and to touch on the horrendous attacks we are getting from a very evil, scorned, satanic human." Or maybe it's just someone that's calling out, hey, you're not allowed to mitigate, treat. You're not allowed to claim these things. Then it says, we will set the record straight. R.E., his persistent quest to defame a solution, it's supposed to say solution, but they spelled it soul-u-shun, a solution focused business where it's a solution focused business where his sad, evil spirit has never accomplished much in his life other than to spew hatred to good people with his fabricated lies, jealousy, and devil-based agendas. Seems kind of extreme, right? I don't know if she's talking about me or if she's talking about Alessandro. Hard to tell. And then it says, God wins and is protecting my baby. God wins and is protecting my baby. Yeah, anytime anybody asks them any question about anything, it's, you've never done nothing. You don't have it. You're irrelevant. That's why people don't like you. You don't have any viewers, and no one watches the movies that you make on your good line TV, and no one uses the foot scrub that you make to cure autism, and that's why. You're just jealous. Then it says, love, Alpa, Sony. For comments, dear Janice, it sounded like she is truly a mini you, social and talkative and so caring of others. Hearts. Good show, Alpa. Thank you. Focus on all the good things and blessings that Ari has brought to all the kids. This is how you withdraw the strength, and the energy always follows your attention. God bless, heart. Thank you so much. I don't know. I was hoping maybe Nick would get around to knocking some goddamn sense into her. Like, you can't cure autism with the same thing that you would fucking treat a chicken with before baking it on 350 in a rotisserie. Little Italian herbs and cheese. Anyways, I'll review this later. We're going to cover the Phil video tonight. I just thought it was interesting. They seem very upset. Very upset. Phil Godlewski time. I didn't watch the Go to Hell one either. I might even watch the Sell-Off. How many of these have I missed? Let's watch the newest one, since that's what's out right now. I'll watch the other ones later, and if it's anything good, we'll play it. Oh, God, I forgot about his stupid fucking music. His countdown that's never right. His audio, his mic, his fucking video that's never right. I've been spoiled by people who can work a camera. It's been wild. Oh, God. Stop dancing. Here we go.
Yo, what up? Okay, how's my sound? How we sounding? How am I sounding? What's my sound? I went too far. Good. Come on, good. 5. Good.
You know, there was somebody about a year ago that claimed that none of you guys actually follow me, and it's just me and Mariah with a bunch of accounts. We talk to each other, and I donate to myself and leave messages and email myself and make memes and pretend they're from other people. All that's made up. It's just me and Mariah, and we each have, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 fucking accounts, I guess. Hundreds of accounts. Who knows?
You got 3, 4. Thumbs up. All right, so weird things have been happening with Rumble Studio tonight. I don't know exactly why. I've been getting disconnected. It hasn't been for the last like 10 minutes now, but I've been getting disconnected from the stream. But then when I go right back in, it seems to be working. So it doesn't disconnect the stream stays there. It just disconnects me from the stream. Really weird. Am I in London? No, I'm not in London. Why are you saying am I in London? No locals? Really? Let's see. Yep. Really weird. Yep, definitely on locals. Am I in London? No, I'm not in London. Well, I'm watching it. I know what's happening. You guys are watching. Some of you guys are watching the post that I put up earlier today to announce the live stream on locals. That's the one where the emails go out and everything. There's a subsequent one that actually gets posted to locals once I go live. So the one that you're on is the one I posted earlier today, which is no longer active. So in fact, I just deleted that one just now as I was saying that. So you may seem to have gotten off locals. Not a big deal. Just go to the other one. Go back to the main page of locals where all the postings are and all that stuff. And you'll see the new stream. It'll say live stream live in a red block. And then you should be good. Okay, let me know if that worked. Facebook is blocking you from posting my lives. Yeah, that don't surprise me at all. That's why I keep my Facebook. My Facebook group has about over 1 million people in it, but it's private. So when I go live there, and it's private. So it's it's what it is. A little darker tonight. I don't have this thing on. You know, I'm just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna keep it off. That's what's gonna happen.
That's horrible. Please don't.
How many autists are in the room? How many of you guys like doing? Let me define that. How many of you guys like doing research, gematria, Q drops, relating it, tying it all together, comms, so to speak? How many of you guys love doing that? I know we got many different groups that spiraled off of my groups to do that, and I think that's great. I've said that for a while. I think that's great. But boy, we got a show for you guys tonight. It's gonna blow your mind.
Mind blower, guys. A mind blower.
Tonight, what we have is a kind of a reassurance, so to speak, that Q is not only real, because obviously somebody was posting as Q, right? There had to have been a person that was doing that. Yet that person was never found, even though that the government really tried their hardest to figure out who that was. No one ever found who that was. And there's so much mystery, obviously, around Q and that whole thing, 2017 all the way up to last year when Q posted last. So someone must have been posting as Q. So when I say, does Q exist? Of course. It's not like no one was posting, so of course Q exists. But when we say that, what we're actually trying to say is, was it real? A lot of Q haters and the people that call Q supporters or Q followers Q-tards, which is a very derogatory term. A lot of those people will say, well, nothing Q has ever done has happened. Well, first of all, anybody that hasn't been following Q, clearly, because there's many things that did happen, an overwhelming amount of things that did happen that should not and could not have happened the way that they did. Otherwise, Q was either some sort of time traveler or had some sort of inside information and some sort of contact very, very close to Donald Trump. So to those people that, say Q is a psyop, of course Q is a psyop. Absolutely. It's definitely a psyop. It's just not a negative psyop in the way that people try to make it seem like, oh, Q is a psyop and you've been psyoped. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean we've been misled? Is that what you're trying to get at when you say, oh, it's a psyop, and you refer to it that way? By saying it's a psyop.
Psyop would be a psychological operation, you fucking retard. As if you've been purposefully misled to miss another point or to get out of some other argument or fight or look the other way. You guys claim these things all the time. You know exactly what the fuck it means. Every mass shooting's a red flag. Every fucking well-known death's a red flag. Every fucking Super Bowl halftime show is a fucking psyop.
It is a psyop. But the way that you're saying, oh, you've been psyoped, here's a psyop. When you say that, you're making it seem like, well, you've been tricked into thinking one thing was happening, and while that thing was happening, something totally different was happening, right? That's what they want you to believe when they say psyop. In reality, Q is a psyop. So first of all, psyop starts for a psychological operation. It's exactly what Q is. It's a psychological operation. And what was the intended purpose of the psychological operation? That should be the question of importance. Was it a psychological operation that kept us occupied while the bad people, so to speak, the cabal, just destroyed our nation, our country, and our world, so to speak. Not so to speak, but literally. If it was that type of thing, I can tell you right now, and I've said this before, I'm not afraid to say it, I can tell you right now, we're all screwed. If Q was a psyop to distract us, that means that Donald Trump was in on it, and he is also a distraction. Do you believe that? You believe Donald Trump was a distraction? I don't think many of you will say that. If he was a distraction, while the cabal actually brought their talons even deeper into humanity, then we're screwed. I mean, there's nothing else to say. There's no argument. There's if that is the case, and Q was a negative psyop, therefore Donald Trump is part of it, and he's part of the negative psyop. Therefore, he purposely walked away from the White House, led us to believe that there was election fraud, only to lose again in 2024, while this fake administration continues to destroy not only the country but the world. Do you believe that? Is that what you believe? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe Donald Trump and Q, the Q team, we should say, because I want you to remember, Q is not an individual person. Q was individual persons at moments in time. But when you talk about Q, you are not talking about a person. It's not just one person. It is a group that have very, very, how should I say, very, very secure, strategic, and protected login access to the boards through the level of I'm just trying to speak carefully, that's why I'm pausing. The level of sophistication.
He's making up lies as he's going. That's why he's pausing.
For each of those individuals that have logged into the Q account and made the posts that you're about to see tonight. And
by the way, Phil may be full of shit, but I'm not. So if you want to contribute to the show, go to coldbeer.fun, coldbeer.fund. We can find all my links at the top of the page, including, well, if it'll refresh. Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, Discord, and Bovada. Bovada is an affiliate link. I think I have to advertise that. Then, if you want to contribute to the show, it's everything here on the left-hand side. You can use Buy Me a Coffee. You can join our Patreon for extra content. You can do a Gun and Bomber, which is just the old link. Donate clip if you want to send an audio or video message, or this yellow button down here, which is, for some reason, has become a lot more popular lately, where you can donate without interrupting the show. I'll know, but no one else will. You can check all of those out. Actually, someone did a Hot H, did a dono clip while we weren't live. So let's see what this one is.
The power of Christ compels you to leave this room. In Jesus' name, amen. Be gone.
I don't know who that was. Somebody with the power of Christ. They got it through a text message, I guess.
The power of Christ compels you to leave this room. In Jesus' name, amen. Be gone.
Be gone. You're not wanted here. The power of Burke compels you. The power. Thank you very much for the dono clip. That was an expensive dono clip, too, from Hot H. I appreciate it.
Many thousands of others. The sophistication between that login process is like nothing the world has ever seen, ever. It is such a sophisticated process that no one would even understand it, really. And that's how Q never actually got caught. No one ever said, oh, this guy's Q, or we traced an IP address or login to here, or we used, even if it's circumstantial evidence to determine who Q was or where they posted from. None of that has ever been done. But yet the mainstream media runs with the narrative that Q is bad, 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 Q is bad. And they just keep going.
What's retarded? I don't think inherently it's bad. Well, I guess it is with like some of the lies and shit they spread, the misinformation they spread. But it's just so retarded. And then you all tie it to all kinds of other bullshit that's also not true.
Suddenly, Q's responsible for January 6th, and Q's responsible for, every conspiracy theory under the sun and all that stuff. So
it's the people who follow it that are responsible for all that shit.
Q is a psyop, no doubt. But it's not the psyop that the other side wants you to believe. Q is a psyop in the sense of we are being led through a psychological operation to wake up humanity. Wake them up. It is a grassroots dissemination campaign to funnel classified information to the public and then have a group of those members of the public branching off into other members of the public. That's what dissemination is. It's not discernment. Don't get confused with that word. Dissemination is when we take a piece of information, pass it off to a person, or in this case, a group, the Anons. The Anons then structure themselves in such a way that they can reach even more people. And then when that structure is complete, those people that they're reaching also become part of the group, and then that outreach continues to occur. It is like an ever-expanding STD. I said that with a straight face. Very proud of myself, actually. I may have snickered, but Snickers is a candy bar. Anyway, so
got it.
That was straight face. Very proud of myself. It's like an ever-expanding STD. I said that with a straight face. Very proud of myself, actually. I may have snickered, but STD.
An ever-expanding STD.
Which continues to occur.
Precious
it is like an ever-expanding
Beast just gifted 5 subs.
Thank you very much for the gifted subs. I appreciate it.
Expanding STD.
Why does he relate it to an STD? The fuck's wrong with him?
That was straight face. I'm very proud of myself, actually. I may have snickered, but Snickers is a candy bar. Anyway, so we are in a psychological operation. We've been for a very, very long time. Anytime that you consider there is a movie or there is behind the scenes happenings occurring that we are not privy to because the mainstream media won't report it, and we know all that, right? So don't laugh at Snickers. That's not funny. That's not a psyop either. Anyway, what you're about to see tonight is a great time in my life to be part of something like this. And anyone that was on the chans, whether it was either 4chan or 8chan, and experienced the early days of Q and postings and the constant looking at your phone to see if another another post came up, another drop came up, and then communicate.
Even Phil wasn't there then. We've proved this over and 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 over again. Till Biden was up for inauguration, Phil didn't even know who the fuck Q was or what it was or the boards, 4chan, 8chan, 8cone. He was actually on a call with Brad Barton, staring down the inauguration of Joe Biden, and he asked the two guys on the phone call, "Have you guys ever heard of like all this Q stuff?" And they're like, "Yeah, we kind of heard of it." And he's like, "I think I'm gonna start covering that now." That was in 2020, so he's damn sure wasn't there in 2017.
With your sphere of influence, it was just a great time. I've met a lot of you. Online, of course, some in person, but I met a lot of you since then, since the days of Q, the popular days of Q, where the multiple posts a day were coming through. That obviously hasn't happened since 2020. There have been posts, but there have been a small amount of posts. I have met a lot of you that, boy, we could have used back then. Really could have used you guys. Because
So now when you find like clips of him saying, "I'm just a normal guy, I don't have intel, I don't have insider knowledge, I don't know anything about this, I'm learning it just like you guys." Now when you bring any of that up, he's like, "Oh yeah, that was because I was undercover." Even I asked him about it. I was like, "You went from a nobody to now sometimes you are Q and you're posting as Q and you're leading the 5 and doing this." He's like, "Oh, I didn't want to come out to the public because, I was doing it."
some of you are brilliant when it comes to not only decoding, but when someone says something to you in a certain way, right? And they didn't really mean the words that they said, but they wanted you to take those words and use those words to figure out what they actually meant. That alone is a psyop, right? I mean, it's a smaller example of psyop. The one that we're in with Q and with Trump and with the cabal and all this stuff going in, that is a major side, the biggest that they come, obviously. A lot of people have said, well, Q is CIA, and the CIA did this to distract. Okay, distract us from what? That leads you back to the point that I mentioned before. If the CIA and Q is some sort of elaborate psychological operation put in place by the CIA, which is nefarious in nature, which meant to distract us from something else going on that was really important, seemingly the world takeover of the cabal, why do that? Answer me. Just no one has ever been able. Everyone's quick to say, "Oh, Q is a CIA operation, and you guys all got hoodwinked." Okay, why? What was the point of it? Hoodwinked from what?
Well, you guys have basically decided not to vote. None of it matters, that it's pointless, that there's no point in pulling for anything, that everything's controlled, so why would we even protest or worry about who gets elected or try to reach out to any of our Congress members or whatever. So they got you completely out of politics, right? Because it's all rigged now.
The cabal takeover? The cabal already had power, right? So what were we being actually distracted from? Something that was already in place? The cabal has been running.
No, if it's a distraction, you can't say, what were we being distracted from? The cabal taking over? No, that's part of the distraction. There is no fucking deep state cabal. Fucking retard.
World for decades. All of your past presidents in recent history were controlled by the cabal. So why would the CIA waste any amount of time at all? Even if it was a small amount of time, why would the CIA waste any amount of time on a psychological operation such as Q? It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense because it's not true. And trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not just rambling about Q. I want you to pick up what I'm putting down, because for all of my autists that are out there and some of my anons that may be watching, and especially those that have recently really got on board with this and formed your own little groups, and you do the gematria on things, not only things that I say, but things that Trump says and Junior says and all that stuff. When you start, it's hard to stop. It's an itch that you can't scratch, and you really need to know whether or not that thing that was said is a comm, or if it's just something that...
Yeah, because it's like an addiction, and you're figuring some type of insider knowledge out, and then you other fucking retarded grannies fucking reinforce that. You're all enablers of each other.
Said. People try to decode things that I say sometimes that are not comms. It's funny, but it's not funny. I unfortunately can't tell you, well, that's a comm, that's not a comm, because that defeats the point, doesn't it? Plus, the people that I'm attempting to reach through the means that I am communicating, I can't come right out and tell you that I don't actually mean what I say, I mean something different, because then the other side will know that, right? Same thing with Q. Q's not going to come out and a post that Q made, Q's not going to come and make a subsequent post say, by the way, I didn't mean it that way, you got to figure out what I meant, you know what I mean? Yeah, that'd be dumb. Wouldn't it defeat the point of doing the whole thing? Why even say it at all?
Yeah, why even say it at all? They didn't need you to do anything. This is the dumbest thing ever. This is the most secretive
Anonymous
fucking...
gifted Binding Terry's a subscription. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Binding Terry's.
This is the most secretive, clandestine, secret military operation, but we're going to secretly tell everybody in the world on a message board.
You know? So I wanted to preface the show tonight with that 20-minute quick catch-up of Q. I understand many of you weren't around. Well, it's not that you weren't around, but you weren't with this movement when Q started back in late 2017. I understand many of you weren't there. Boy, you're going to get a trip down memory lane tonight. And it all centers around one John Podesta. All right, I probably did that a little too long. I recognize that now, and I corrected my mistake by stopping, obviously. So, John Podesta has been a topic that I've been itching to talk about, kind of like that itch that you can't scratch, for a while. And now that we had the announcement of Mr. Rothschild, I'm not going to call him Mr. Instead, I'm going to call him Dickhead Rothschild. Now that we've had the announcement of Jacob the Rothschild's death, this has unloaded, as I said, on Monday night, my last live stream.
I think we've already done this, right? Like, we've already been through all this.
This has unloaded a new level of reporting. So what you are experiencing starting Monday of this past week, which was February 26th, what you are experiencing is a rebirth of the Great Awakening. Not that we needed to be reborn or anything like that, but the manner in which information flows will now forever change, because the last 4 years rather sucked, didn't it? How many Q drops do we have in the last 4 years? Handful, right? Did any of them ever actually point us to anything good? Not really, right? I mean, somewhat in some ways, but reassurance more than anything. Where is the prominence of the intel, the behind-the-scenes intel, like there was from 2017 to 2020? Where the hell has that been from 2020 onward? Where are those drops? Where is the stuff where's the intel? You can scream at me all the time. We want intel, we want intel, we want intel, we want intel. You know, it's been slow. And I told you guys it was going to get slow. Did I not say it sometime last year? It's going to be a slowdown. A lot of truthers aren't going to be reporting anything. They're going to start talking about other truthers. They're going to start talking about, negatively, by the way, they're going to start talking about news, the actual mainstream media news. It's belched.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. What the fuck?
News, the actual mainstream media news. It's belched. About
that sneak up on you, Phil? A little bit?
News, the actual mainstream media news. It's belched. That was a poor taste. How do I recover from this?
Stomach knots for all this fucking Adderall he's been eating.
Well, I think I will recover from it. I'm not sure how, but I'll get back to you on that. Oh, wow, I'm having a night. You know what's weird for those of you that don't know me?
The field of greens.
I know belch is a word. I know most people say burp, but I say belched because it sounds more proper sometimes. Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, like in person, this is just how I am. Like I'm not. I read some of the comments the other night on Monday night. Is he on drugs? Is he high? Is he stoned? Is he on cocaine? Is he on uppers? Is he drunk? No, this is actually just how I am. This is normal.
So this is normal, but people have been watching you for what, 4 years, and you've never acted like this before, except for the last little bit. But this is how I always am. Before I was just sedated, right? I'm not on drugs now. I was on drugs before. I was on tranquilizers. This is just me.
I don't know. I can tell you, I walk around the house saying stuff like that and doing stuff like that. You know, it's not because there's anything wrong with me. I just like to have fun a lot. You know, if you're not having fun, you might as well be dead. You know what I mean? It's belch to calm. You guys are great. Podesta. All right, before we get
Podesta. Podesta.
The good stuff. Why don't y'all tell me where you're from? Why don't we get into that? I love doing that. It's fun. Let's do it then. Let's have fun and do it. Okay, I'm ready. Grab my glasses. Here we go. Let's go. Come on, hit me. Outer Lands. No one knows what that means. Not even that guy. He doesn't know what it means either. Tell me where you're from. Toronto, Ontario. Limehouse, Ontario, Canada. Okay, well, there's a lot of Canadians. Gaylord, Michigan. Houston, Belmont.
Well,
no one say homo's ass because apparently it's Hamasis, but that guy spelled it homo's ass. So that's what he did. I read it for what it said. Okay, Alberta, another Canadian. Syracuse, Connecticut, Southeast Texas, Ludington, Michigan, New Orleans, Azores. No idea what that means. Converse, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, El Paso.
The one comment he picked out was homo ass.
Texas, Merritt Island, Gilbert, Arizona, Minnesota, Marywood, Nebraska, Tullahoma, Tennessee. That's a new one. Colorado Mountains, Coca, Florida, Tamarick, Florida, Volin, South Dakota. I don't know if that's how you guys talk or not, but it's near Minnesota. So whatever. Southern Iowa.
That's exactly how they say it.
Kinderhook, New York. Nampa, Idaho. Wow, we got a lot of flowers. What, Philippines? That's pretty cool. Avon Park, Florida. I don't see these very often. Washington State, Tri-Cities. Hollywood, Florida. Albuquerque. Careful, Heisenberg's from there. He is him. Midlothian, Virginia. Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Whoop, whoop. Ran several businesses out of there. Drive through there a lot. Dealing, Florida. Hastings, England. Across the pond. Hey, no, that's down under. Across the pond, governor. I don't know. Saratoga, New York, Utah. Muncie, Indiana. Z. Michael LePage said Z. That's where he's from. Z. Got it. Poland. Ancestors are from there. Fredonia, Pennsylvania. Ohio. Idaho. Quakertown, PA. Indiana, New York, Maine. Wellsboro, PA. Mullen. Boobies. Guys from Boobies. Anadarko, Oklahoma. Detroit, Michigan. Some shady. Wayne, New Jersey. Jefferson, Maryland. Atlanta, Georgia, Gettysburg, PA, Amarillo, Texas, and one more. Give me one that I don't read often. Let's see. I'm scrolling through. Drumheller, Alberta. A lot of Canadians watching. Are we on Canadian time? I'm just kidding. That's not a thing. They're on the same time. Okay. Where do we begin? I mean, we got a hell of a show, and it's going to be a very enlightening show for those of you that are not familiar with Q, that are not familiar with gematria, and that are not familiar with John Podesta. And I think the intel part of the show, if that's what you're wondering, where can you fast forward to? You should watch the whole show. Why? Because I'm absolutely stunningly handsome, and the more you can see of me, the better you're going to feel. It's like a radiance that I emit through, like, my body to your eyes.
If this is a joke, he claims this is a joke, right? If this is a joke, first of all, where's the punchline? Second of all, how many times before it's not funny anymore?
And when it hits your eyes, you are just suddenly much better in all aspects. I should make my own cologne, and, well, I wouldn't do the same, would it? Okay. Anyway, wow. It's just a really rough night so far. By the way, if you're watching on Rumble, please hit the thumbs up button. There's a little thumbs up button. It's down there. I want you to hit it with your mouse or your finger until it turns green. And then when it does turn green, you've done your job. Now, as always, trolls, make sure you hit the thumbs down button because I like people to notice the difference, the ratio between thumbs ups and thumbs downs. You usually get about 100 to 200, sometimes a little over 200 thumbs downs, and then like these tens of thousands thumbs up. So when you hear that one overwhelming idiot in the live chat saying, Phil's a grifter, Phil's a pedophile, Phil's everything that you hate, and you should hate him. There's just a couple of those guys. There's not a lot. So cool. So make sure you hit those thumbs down button. I have 3 sponsors for tonight. The first one I want to mention right now before I forget about it, if you don't mind, and that is Field of Greens. Let me read you some cool stuff about Field of Greens before I get into the rest. Field of Greens. So what Field of Greens is, should I go get it? No, I don't want. What Field of Greens is it's a powder. Okay, it comes in a jar, about yay big, and it's a powder. And what you do is you mix it in with water, you can mix it in with a sports drink, you can mix it in whatever you want. I take it in, I like it.
Field of Greens, guys.
Almost like when you
I wonder why he didn't have the people who founded the company spell it PH, Field of Greens.
And you don't mix it all the way. They'll have that like crunchy thing in your teeth sometimes. I actually like it. Why? Because it tastes good too. But what it does for you is remarkable. You have way more energy throughout the day, number one. Your skin.
So he loves it when it's not mixed well and it's crunchy in his teeth. Perfect.
Is going to look a lot healthier. So if you're doing Field of Green stuff, plus you're doing my X-Patches system, you're going to look like $1 million. Case in point, look at me. Look at my skin. Just look at it. Have you ever seen skin like this before? Look at the tattoos I have. That has nothing to do with anything. But on another point,
to be fair, it's better quality than Bert gets. So at least Phil comes up with a scam. Bert's scam is just, hey, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to move. I'm homeless. Send me money. I'll sing you a song. We'll sing for old lady purses. At least Phil comes up with a scam, I guess.
My skin is radiant. I'm glowing all the time. I'm always glowing, right? That was a terrible pitch. So your skin looks healthier. It's going to help with your digestion. Your stomach's going to feel better throughout the day. Your hair and nails are going to grow faster and also look healthier. And just overall, you're going to feel fantastic throughout the day. So Field of Greens, one of our primary sponsors for tonight. Sponsor number 1, fieldofgreens.com. If you do try it out, try the berry flavor. Berry flavor is the best one. One of the flavors tastes terrible. They know that. I told them that. But they still sell it. Why? Because people buy it, I guess. I don't know. But regardless of that, try the berry one. Berry one's great. If you use the promo code at checkout, Phil, P-H-I-L, you will get 15% off your order, which is kind of cool because no one gets that.
Oh my goodness.
Promo code Phil. So fieldofgreens.com.
Full 15%.
Phil, 15% off. Let's get into the good stuff.
Bert does have talent where Phil's talentless, right? Well, I guess you could do his lies and shit as a talent. But he's technically not even good at that. Like, I've met people that are good at lies. They can keep track of them at least. Like, Phil's fucking snitched on himself so many goddamn times in his lies and shit. At least some people can keep up with all their lies.
I did that thing again. That time I did a little less than I did last time, so that's good. I want to talk about John Podesta. I've wanted to talk about John Podesta for a long time, and I only ever held one live on John Podesta. It's probably about 6 months ago, roughly, if you guys want to go back and watch it. John Podesta is one of the worst people that have ever walked the face of the earth. I don't know if you guys know that or not. What John Podesta has done equates to the worst crimes that anyone could ever commit.
Oh, the worst crimes ever.
I don't know where it went wrong for John Podesta. If he was... Somebody just said it as I was trying to think of what to say. You're so full of yourself in a good way. I'm not actually full of myself. I'm the furthest thing from full of myself. I know I act that way, but it's an act because I try to be funny and I'm not. But it's not. I'm not like full of myself. I really don't care at all. I say those things because I think people are laughing or at least going, oh, you know what I mean? That's fine. That's a good reaction for me. I'm trying to make a smile. If it does the opposite to you, maybe you should lighten up. But anyway, John Podesta, somewhere along the line.
There you go. Bazinga. If it does the opposite to you, maybe you should line up.
Became completely overtaken and influenced by
someone who's not full of themselves. Someone who's not trying to hide their insecurities by bragging about how amazing they are, how beautiful they are, how integral a part of this plan they are. Doesn't also go out and buy millions of dollars worth of properties, homes, cars to flex on his audience, right? They don't also come up with lies and say, I didn't spend your money, not the money you guys donated. I was a Bitcoin millionaire. Yeah, I was a crypto bro when I was in jail. Remember?
Sort of nefarious force, whether that force was Satan himself or some conglomerate of Satan. John Podesta has done so many things to so many
a conglomerate
of Satan, completely overtaken and influenced by some sort of nefarious force, whether that force was Satan himself or some conglomerate of Satan.
A conglomerate of Satan.
To so many people, and the worst of which is children. Now, I'm gonna put some stuff on the screen, not so much to show you the things that John Podesta has done. That's gonna be for another live, and that live is gonna be very soon. If you wanna watch my previous live on John Podesta, I strongly recommend you do so, because John Podesta is coming into the news very soon. Somebody just said pure evil in the chat. No, I wouldn't even.
Yeah, I've heard him. I mean, he used that, what's that crazy video that no one knows if it's real or not? The audio recording of the, the kid screaming or whatever. And it was from, what was it, World Corp Dad or something like that. No one knows if it's real or whatever. Well, of course, the Q-tards say it's John Podesta, because why not? I remember him talking about that. And fucking Chester Bennington. We've done these shows before. I feel like I'm fucking stuck. It's not Frazzle Drip. No. I feel like I'm stuck in deja vu or some shit.
It's so far beyond pure evil that it's not. There's not even a word that could represent what John Podesta is. Not even a word in existence. It would just be, he's in his own category of terribleness. So that side of tonight is going to be pushed. I will do a very specific live on John Podesta, as well as Chester Bennington.
I like to have fun and laugh and make jokes and shit, but goddamn, man. It seems like when we watch Phil, it's just being angry about his lies all the time.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, and I think a lot of you do, but I think a lot of you probably don't. Chester Bennington is the biological son of John Podesta. Not because he looks like him, and if you do side-by-side like my photo did in the live tonight, here, I'll put that back up real quick. So you could see in this photo that obviously an older Podesta and a younger Chester Bennington look very much alike, very much. You're talking about the chins, the jawline, the ears, obviously the noses, the hairline, the shape of the head, and you can't tell too much in this picture, but also the...
Lee Russell Bennington is Chester Bennington's dad's. I think his mom's name was Sue or Susan or Suzanne. I can't remember, but his dad's name is Lee Russell Bennington.
The body stature, the height, the weight, the way that they speak in terms of their voice and in terms of their mannerisms. The eyes are almost identical. To have all of these similar traits and to not be related, that's kind of a tall bridge, to get over. That's kind of a lot. People can't really get.
I don't know if I guess he kind of looks like his actual dad. We don't typically just go find two famous people online and be like, oh, they look so much alike. That's his dad, right? That doesn't fucking make sense. First of all, what are the chances of them both being fucking famous? Second of all, you just found pictures and said, oh, that's it. So that's Chester Bennington when he was young, and that's his dad there. There's recently been some pictures come out of his. Oh, here's one. His dad and Chester Bennington's son, which the Q-tards were harassing the son on TikTok. The son made a video about his dad basically killing himself, and struggles he went through and the stuff that he's heard and been around and seen. And they're like, your dad's a hero. He's trying to save the kids. He's not dead. Don't worry. Like, they were just fucking attacking him. It was pretty fucked up. But it's because people like Phil convince them that shit's true.
To that point. I mean, these guys are so identical that they share all of these traits and they're not related. That's not a thing. I mean, that's just completely irrational to think that. Okay, just logically, without knowing anything. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that Chester Bennington is the biological son of John Podesta, and Chester Bennington's real name is not even Chester Bennington. Now, let's talk about Chester Bennington just briefly. And again, I'm going to have a future live on Bennington and Podesta. Tonight is not going to be that. I'm going to draw other correlations tonight that's going to blow your mind. Okay. First of all, let me go back to that background photo one more time. You can see the overlay on John Podesta's face, which is on the right-hand side of the screen. That is the international symbol for boy lover, the pedophilia symbol for boy lover. You can see it looks like superimposed triangles or so. A lot of people say that, that this symbol is what that symbol is. See that right there?
Yeah, there it is. The same symbol. Same.
Try to get as close as possible with help. Mother. There you go. See that symbol? Oh, I'm gonna break. That's not the same symbol, right? Look at this, right? Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. I mean, we agree that that's not the same symbol. So the naysayers out there, the idiots that want to distract your mind, obviously that's not it.
I mean, everybody's got somebody they look like.
Back to the photo, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen with the image superimposed over Podesta's face, that is what we know of the international boy lover symbol, which is a symbol for pedophilia. Okay. Now, if you look over Chester Bennington's face on the left-hand side, that symbol, although it's very similar, is not the same, and it is also the symbol for Linkin Park. Chester Bennington, for those of you that don't know, was the lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, I raise myself. Personally, I think I have a great voice. A lot of people tell me. Chester Bennington, for those of you that don't know, was the lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself. And it is also the symbol for Linkin Park. Chester Bennington, for those of you that don't know, was the lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself. The lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself. Of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself. Personally, I think I have a great voice. A lot of people tell Park. Chester Bennington, for those of you that don't know, was the lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself.
If you're wondering what he's trying to sing, it's this. I'll probably get a copyright strike for it, but here you go. That part right there. Now here's Phil's version.
You that don't know, was the lead singer of Linkin Park. What I've done, erase myself.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Personally, I think I have a great voice. A lot of people tell me that. A lot of people.
We're going to pause right there for a little bit because I want to troll these people right here so bad. Not tonight, but I want to show you in the future. I want to troll these people so bad.
She's good, though. She's good.
So this is called Creek Squad 2894. Wednesday night karaoke chat and chill. They do karaoke over here on this channel. And I want to troll these people so bad. So bad.
A little red, but she'll be in here.
Stop it. Stop telling on her. Just say she's good.
We'll do it on a different day.
Smoking it's the
so
way to
bad.
go, 'cause
that's what I'm saying.
If you think you overdone it, just stop, and a half hour later you're fine. You know, it's like, okay,
I'm done. I'm done.
It looks like in the live chat, one of our former fans who won a car from Ryan Upchurch is hanging out over there.
Oh,
yeah. For me, it was
you can go to sleep
the next day.
Yeah, you can go to sleep and then wake up in the morning, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm stoned for the day.
No, I second that. I've always been a smoker because, like, you just can never really trust.
We'll check back in with them guys later, okay?
People. And it would be really hard for all of those people to tell me separately that I have such a great voice and I sound just like Chester Bennington if it weren't true. Imagine all those people lying to me all at the same time. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't happen. So apparently I am a great singer and I do sound a lot like Chester Bennington. Just want to put that out there. Okay. Regardless, Chester Bennington is the biological son of John Podesta. His real name's not Chester Bennington. We'll get into that another time. And also, Chester Bennington is the lead singer of Linkin Park. Linkin Park, coincidentally, this has nothing to do with anything here, but Linkin Park is also one of my favorite bands of all time. Now, Chester Bennington, I don't know if you guys know this, had 7 children. 7 at the time of his death. So when speaking to his other band members and to other people that knew him personally, as well as, you know, were around him in his last days, Chester Bennington, according to others, was an incredible father. His kids thought he was Superman. They were so into...
Oh, thank you for the donation. I just saw somebody donate. I appreciate it.
And the relationship with his wife was excellent. And Chester Bennington was a model of what you should be as not only a husband, but also a father. He was deeply into his children. His children were deeply into him. And the reciprocal relationship that they all had was something that, according to what others have said, was something that we could all just hope for. I have a little bit of that. I can relate to that a little bit because I have a very close relationship with my 2 boys. Now, obviously, my 2 girls just came into my life over the last couple of years, so it's going to take a little while for that to develop. It has developed substantially already. But the relationship that I have with my sons, I can relate to that. When somebody tells me that's how Chester is with his children, and I know what they're talking about. I know it doesn't have to be described to me any more than that. I get it because that's what, number one, that's what I strive for as a parent. And because of just came into my life over the last, that was children. His children of what you should be as not only a husband, but also a father. He was deeply into his children. His children were deeply into him. And the reciprocal relationship that they all had was something that, according to what others have said, was something that we could all just hope for. I have a little bit of that. I could relate to that a little bit because I have a very close relationship with my two boys. Now, obviously, my two girls just came into my life over the last couple of years, so that it's going to take a little while for that to develop. It has developed substantially already. But the relationship that I have with my sons, I could relate to that. When somebody tells me that's how Chester is with his children, and I know what they're talking about. I know it doesn't have to be described to me any more than that. I get it because that's what, number one, that's what I strive for as a parent. And because of major investments that I've made in the love and the upbringing for my children, I see it reciprocated from them. So I get it. I completely get it. Now, for those of you that don't know, Chester Bennington reportedly killed himself. Literally out of nowhere. No marital issue.
Not out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere. Here's an article on it. It says, quote, Chester, your pain saved me from mine. Your darkness showed me that mine wasn't the only one, that there were others. It helped me. You helped me, wrote Lincoln Park fan on the band's Facebook page as a tribute to Bennington, just a few days after the news of Chester Bennington's suicide left his loved ones and millions of fans shocked and heartbroken. Chester Bennington, the lead singer behind the hauntingly powerful lyrics of alternative rock band Linkin Park, died of suicide by hanging on July 20th, 2017 in Palos Verdes Estates in Los Angeles, California. His death shook the music industry, creating an incredible amount of emotional outpour from friends, family, and fans who connected with the band's pain-filled lyrics and the singer's angst, which stemmed from his difficult childhood. Like, it just listening to the songs, you can tell he obviously has issues and struggles of his own. From the early age of 11, Bennington abused alcohol, cocaine, meth, LSD, and opium to numb himself. So he started abusing, I think it was just alcohol at 11, but he abused all of those drugs to numb himself. One of their songs is named Numb, to numb himself to the trauma left behind by the sexual abuse he experienced as a child. Like many who suffer from addiction, he also struggled with other mental health disorders, something he was upfront and transparent about through his career. He was upfront and transparent about these mental health disorders throughout his career. He hoped that his honesty would encourage others to speak up and seek help, as he did in 2006 when he decided to get sober. When discussing his struggles with addiction during an interview with The Guardian, Bennington said, quote, I'd become a person that wasn't me. I'm a nice, friendly guy that was always stuck behind this monster that was really just a hurt kid, end quote. Bennington was proud of his sobriety, often saying, it's not cool to be an alcoholic. It's cool to be part of recovery. But despite his success at recovering from addiction, Bennington continued to struggle with severe depression. In an interview, he described his mind as a bad neighborhood that I should not be walking alone in, highlighting the importance of reaching out for help. As tragic as Bennington's death is, he is not alone. Sadly, on average, 132 suicides occur every day. Men are at higher risk, often due to substance abuse and the cultural norms that make it difficult for them to share their emotions. Despite being the 10th leading cause of death in the nation, suicide is rarely talked about in the media, and there is still a stigma attached to mental health. He was open about his struggles, and even after getting sober, that didn't fix it, right?
No issues with his kids. No rumors of any sort of impropriety with his band. In fact, his band members were more shocked than I've ever seen when it first happened. I think the VMAs or something around Chester Bennington's announcement of suicide, I think it happened right after, and there was actually a tribute to Linkin Park with the band members. You could see it in their face that they were just completely floored. Completely. It completely came out of nowhere, not only for Linkin Park.
Well, you never expect it to happen. Even people that have tried, right? They try again, they're successful, you still don't expect it to happen. People you're close to, people that you know are upset, people that you know that are alcoholics or drug addicts or depressed or went through traumatic experience, it still catches everybody off guard. No one expects it. Let's see.
A hard time with life.
This is Chester Bennington talking right here.
I don't know if anybody out there can relate, but like, I have a hard time with life sometimes. Sometimes it's great, but a lot of times for me, it's really hard. And no matter how I'm feeling, like I always find myself like struggling with certain patterns of behavior. I find myself like stuck in like the same thing that keeps repeating over and over again. And I'm just like, how am I in this? And it's that moment where you're in it, and then you kind of separate yourself from that situation, and you look at it and you see it for what it is, and you're able to then do something about it. Like you've now broken out of that circle, that cycle. And
are you kind of, because the first couple of lines on the track make me think that you were like overthinking things in your life? Is it like
it could be. I mean, honestly, like there's so many circumstances that for me that relate to this situation, but like I know that for me, when I'm inside myself, when I'm in my own head, it gets this place right here, this skull between my ears. That is a bad neighborhood, and I should not be in there alone. I can't be in there by myself.
What are you talking about?
It's insane. It's crazy in here. This is a bad place for me to be by myself. And so when I'm in that, like my whole life gets thrown off. Like if I'm in there, like I don't say nice things to myself. Like there's another Chester in there.
Yeah, it's a horrible story, especially when people are taken away from it. Be like, oh, he was murdered. He was in perfect mental health. He had no issues going on. Nothing was wrong.
It's like wants to take me down. And so, and I find that it could be whether it's substances or whether it's behavior or whether it's like depressive stuff or whatever it is. Like if I'm not like actively like getting out of myself and being with other people, like being a dad, being a husband, being a bandmate, like being a friend, helping someone out, like.
So the worst times are when he's alone by himself, right, and stuck in his own head.
If I'm out of myself, I'm great. If I'm inside all the time, I'm horrible. I'm a mess. And so for me, it's like that was kind of where I don't like my mind right now, stacking up problems that are so unnecessary. That's where that came from for me. But it's the moment where it's like realizing like I drive myself nuts, like actually thinking that like all these are real problems. Like all the stuff that's going on here is actually just I'm doing this to myself. And regardless of whatever that thing is. And so this is that like conscious awareness of that thing. And like when you can step back and look at something, like you're actually elevating yourself consciously. Like you're enlightened at that point, right, to a certain degree. And so this is that moment of enlightenment where you go, I could do something about this, and by doing it, I can move forward and get unstuck from this, and I could actually be able to. For me, it's like I can live with life on life's terms. Like I can experience the whole spectrum of humanity and not want to get out of it, whether it's happiness, sadness, or whatever. Like I just want to, when I'm in it, I just want to get out of however I'm feeling, no matter what it is.
So when you wrote this song, you were clearly in that bad neighborhood in your brain.
This time last year, I was a mess, like a total wreck. And like I think for a lot of people, they think like if you're successful, like all of a sudden like you get like you get like some card in the mail that says like you're gonna be totally satisfied and happy for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen like that. Like life for me happens the way it always. The only difference is I'm in Lincoln Park. Like what goes on inside my head it's always been this way for me. So when I'm not working on that, like my life gets messy, and that's kind of how the inspiration for all these songs came from, conversations about life and what was going on as friends, as husbands, as fathers, as whatever, business partners. Like we were all talking about what was going on in all aspects of our lives at certain times throughout the process of this record. And we realized like, man, we've all gone through like some really crazy stuff, and we don't need to find the source of inspiration. Like, what's this record about? Like, this is our life. We always have written about our lives, and like that should just be enough. We don't need to find some new thing. Like, life is always throwing these like curveballs at you, whether they're good or bad. Like, it just happens. And eventually, what I found is, especially with the bad stuff, because that's the stuff that I kind of lean. That's the stuff that sticks to me a little bit more. Coming out at the other side and being like, man, I'm a better person because of that, or I'm more compassionate because of that, or I can understand. I feel like I understand people or humanity a little bit differently because I've been through some pretty crazy stuff.
So a lot of people say that this is like him, like basically like, I don't think he was calling out for help, because up to this point he had been able to deal with it, right? Every time it creeped up, he had some type of way, whether it was good or bad or whatever, to deal with it. This wasn't him saying like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it one of these days, I'm not going to make it out or whatever, but he still is kind of pouring his soul out while they're talking about him writing the song.
And that's a positive. So finding the positive in all these things, that's what we always try to do, but we still talk about the feelings we had going through all these different circumstances.
This was from the same year of his death. This was from February of 2017, I think. Yeah, it was February of 2017 was this interview that he did. And then he ends up killing himself in July of 2017. So to take away from that and be like, oh, he had a perfect life. You know, there wasn't nobody was claiming he cheated on his wife or that his kids hated him or like that has nothing, first of all, it has nothing to do with someone harming theirself 99% of the time. You're not going to go back and be like, oh, well, you know, this one person just came out and accused him of abuse. Like most of the time it has nothing to do with that type of shit. But he didn't have nobody has a perfect life.
But also his family and his kids, man. Let me tell you something. Somebody that has that type of relationship with their family, particularly their children, does not kill themselves. Anybody here who has thought about suicide in the past but didn't do it, how hard was it? Incredibly hard. And that's if you have nothing.
You're talking about Chris Cornell. Yeah, Chris Cornell was a good friend, and that was I think that was a major issue for Chester Bennington, right? I don't think he ever got over it. I don't think he ever processed it right. I don't think he understood it. So that Chris Cornell killed himself in May of 2017, and then Chester Bennington kills himself in July of 2017. And they were really good friends. Chris Cornell is from Soundgarden.
Nothing to live for. If you have a really hard financial situation, or you have very hard family problems, or your kids won't speak to you, or you're not speaking to someone in your family that's important to you, or you don't have a lot of friends, or whatever the reasons are that may drive you to a suicidal.
And Chester Bennington ended up killing himself on Chris Cornell's birthday. I'm pretty sure. Right, let me look up Chris Cornell's birthday. Yeah, it was on his birthday. The fuck the calculator open for? Yeah, July 20th. It would have been his like 53rd birthday or something like that.
Thought, doing it is a total different ball of wax. You are so afraid of the actual moment called death that anything psychological it repels. It just repels. And it is a total different ball. You don't have a lot of friends, or whatever the reasons are that may drive you to a suicidal thought. Doing it is a total different ball of wax.
But the people who typically do it, whenever they interview their friends or family, they never saw it coming. Seemed like they were happy. They were always laughing or making other people laugh. Seemed like they had a good relationship with their friends and family and loved ones. I don't know why he's saying the exact opposite of what actually happens.
You are so afraid of the actual moment called death that anything psychological
They weren't working on shit. They weren't working on a documentary about trafficking. That's all a fucking lie. Every bit of that's a lie that the Q-tards come up with.
It repels. It just repels. And it is incredibly hard. Now, another thing I want to tell you, and we're going to get into this. This is going to be actually one of my first Quantum Films episodes after the one. We'll talk about that, by the way, later tonight. I forgot about that. We're going to do a Quantum Films film on the relationship of Chester Bennington versus John Podesta. But one more thing I want to show you, in case you missed it on this picture. The superimposed image over Chester Bennington's face on the left-hand side is the logo of Lincoln Park. If you don't believe me, Google it. You could see a very, very, very similar contrast to the logo over John Podesta's face on the right, which is the international pedophilia symbol for a boy lover. In fact, if you look closer at these images side by side, you'll notice that the image on the left, the Lincoln Park logo, almost has a strike going through it from the top to the bottom, the right northeast corner of the top, going on to the left southwest corner at the bottom of the circle. Now, so to speak, that would be a slice across the logo of pedophilia, across the boy lover.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a big,
when you look up,
a big no pedophilia slice.
Who designed that logo? You will find no other than Chester Bennington. I could tell you tonight with 100% certainty and absolutely no shroud of doubt in my mind whatsoever. And the only way that somebody could say something with 100% certainty, no matter what it is if they have personal experience to that fact. You can't say that, I'm trying to think of something I couldn't, but you can't say something is 100% certain if there's to be with his children.
The hell was
and taking out
that?
great evil in this world. Chester Bennington is 100% alive. Everyone on Rumble says I'm great evil in this world. Percent certain. If you I'm trying to think of something I couldn't. But you can't say something is 100% certain if you be with his children and taking out a great evil in this world. Chester Bennington is 100% alive.
Wait a second. You said he just said you can't say 100% that something happened unless you were there. And then he says Chester Bennington, like literally before he even takes a breath, Chester Bennington is 100% alive.
His children and taking out a great evil in this world. Chester Bennington is 100% alive. Everyone on Rumble, I'm frozen. Okay. We any better now? Refresh, you guys. Refresh. If somebody could still see me on Rumbles, please put refresh in the refresh your screen in the chat. Just so other members, if they're frozen, it has nothing to do with the live stream because we're connected. It was just a glitch in Rumble. Everyone's saying you're fine. Refresh worked. Good. Yeah, so just refresh your screen. I know obviously you can't hear me to hear me say refresh. So if my other people on Rumble that are still seeing me, please put in the chat refresh and it'll work. If you're on Telegram, if somebody doesn't mind, maybe one of the mods, if the chat is muted, I don't know. Please put in the chat on Telegram to refresh your Rumble feed and it'll come back up. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Linkin Park. Hell, I like fucking Chris Cornell and the bands he ran. He was in. I just hate when they do this shit, right? Audio Slave, that was another good one. Super Unknown. But anyways, I hate when they fucking hijack this shit for their own. Even the people like, oh, well, they were working together on a documentary about trafficking, and that's why they died. No, the fuck they weren't.
There we go. All right. So that's how it went down with Podesta and Bennington. And
I hate how the Q-tards have hijacked these people that I enjoy their accomplishments and the stuff that they made and put out there.
Bennington. And Chester's alive. Chester's living in, I guess the old phrase would be called witness protection. Chester still has access to his family. And you're going to see Chester pretty soon. So we're going to cover that another time.
The old phrase is witness protection. We'll see him later.
For tonight, what I want to do is I want to show you some very interesting connections. My autists out there, my guys my groups that love gematria and that love trying to figure something out that's happening behind the scenes. Let me preface the next part of this live by saying this. First and foremost, I am finally getting intel again. Finally. There's a big gap, as you all know, of that kind of reporting.
No intel.
Finally, it's coming back in. And one of the first things that we are to talk about is John Podesta. And before in a later live, before we get to that later live, that kind of ties everything together. What we are going to do is we're going to look at some very interesting things regarding Q, and we're going to tie it all together. And this stuff is going to blow your mind, especially if you're not used to this kind of stuff. So, welcome to the Mind of Phil. Welcome to one of my past lives. But when I say lives, it makes it seem like live streams. I'm talking about like my life, one of my past ones. Got it? Okay.
I don't know if I've ever blown anybody's mind. I've blown pretty close to Mariah's mind, or where I think her mind would be. Probably as close as you could get to her mind without actually penetrating the skull. Then it comes out their nose. It makes a mess.
Here we go. Let's go back to the beginning here. Got it. There we go. Okay. Should be able to see me on the screen, correct? Right down here. See me? Didn't go anywhere. Great. Now, in addition to that, you should be able to see a document on the screen, which looks very much like a Q drop. Does it not? Right. Okay. Q drop. Got it. Now, right up top here in the Q drop, I just want you to realize that this is Q drop number 34. We all see that, right?
Yeah, the Angry Dragon.
Top left's a little arrow pointing to it. Which you'll also know is the title of tonight's live. Maybe that's just a coincidence. You'll have to ask the person that actually titled the live. By the way, that was me. So tonight's live is called 34. And the reason that it's called 34 is this particular drop that's on the screen right now is drop number 34. You can see at the very top, this occurred on November 1st, 2017. And it is pretty much about John Podesta. Let's read it. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary follow, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child in this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided, as many have fallen for the corporate and evil narrative that has been broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system (EMS) during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news to all citizens. Organizations and/or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessity and authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. So, this says very, very before I got into all that other, the final 2/3 of this drop. This very clearly says that all of that stuff that we just read, right, happens after the arrest, the public announcement arrest of John Podesta. Now notice, it didn't say the arrest of John Podesta, did it? No, it just said the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, right? I think we would all agree that there's a difference between an arrest of someone and an announcement of arrest of someone. Now, one doesn't necessarily mean the other, right? But what it could mean is that the arrest had already occurred, but the announcement is here, right? We talk a lot about that with...
Okay, there you go.
Right? We talk about...
Might as well.
Let's see what we could take
Oh my God,
from the
this
announcement
shit's
of
wigging
John
out,
Podesta's
dude.
arrest. You ready? Because I'm ready. Here we go.
Fucking androids are moving in.
First of all, 34. If you were to put those words, 34, if you were to not just take the number by itself, but put the words 30 and 4 into a gematria calculator, you will get in simple gematria, which is what Trump has consistently used over the years, and we can get into examples of that, but we don't necessarily have to. If you put the words 34 into a gematria calculator, you will see the red box indicates that the total for those letters in gematria, simple gematria, comes to 160. Okay, so why are we using 34? Because we're talking about John Podesta, and we're talking about the first time John Podesta was mentioned in the Q drops regarding his imminent arrest. So let's take a look at 34. Okay, 34 comes to 160 in gematria, simple gematria. All right, now, just as a cute little coincidence, not necessarily on a lot of the timelines that we're going to go over tonight, but just as a cute.
Do you guys know how many people at the time that Q rose to prominence, his first post was October 28th, 2017, I think. Actually, we can grab the first one. Hold on. You guys know how many people at the time were on 4chan pretending to be government insiders with insider information? It just so happened this one took off. This is the one that everybody supported. But at the time, there were all kinds of people claiming that they had all the fucking government information, every bit of it, that it was all going on. They knew what was going on. They could tell you all about it. There was just fucking hundreds of those. And this one just happened to take off. They had other ones take it. Nothing like this set has. This set has. But they did have other ones that took off as well. First post. So someone posted, an anonymous poster, not Q, posted, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is actually from, where's the trip code? Trip code. Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m. and to 8:30 a.m. Eastern on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017. Now, why was everybody talking about the Hillary Clinton arrest? Because Donald Trump basically ran on lock her up. But then as soon as he was elected, he's like, oh, she's been through enough. You see her walking around in the woods. She doesn't know where she's at. She's been through enough. We're not locking her up. We're bigger. We're better than they are. Now he's running on, I'll use all of my power to attack my political enemies, but whatever. Anyways, that was that. In response to that, we get HRC extraction already in motion, effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. Marshals will conduct the operation while National Guard is activated. Proof check. Locate a National Guard member and ask if activated for duty 10:30 across major cities. Now, all we have to do is check this, right? All we have to do is check this. So, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 and 8:30 a.m. Eastern on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017. Was Hillary Clinton arrested October 30th, 2017 in the morning? Absolutely not. But you could say, but Will, we may just not know. Maybe she was arrested and we just don't know. Okay, let's go to our guy who's going to give us the information. If we didn't know, if this was secret and we were never supposed to know that Hillary was arrested, why would our guy on the inside tell us to expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur? Why would we be told to expect that? It also says that U.S. Marshals will be conducting this operation while the National Guard is activated. Then it says for proof, you can ask National Guard members if they're activated for duty on 10:30 across major cities. They weren't. They weren't. Nothing in this first post was true. Not a single fucking thing. But this is where it all started. I have no idea why, because not a single fucking thing was true about it. But here we sat, fucking 6 years and so many days later, Still doing the same fucking bullshit. Any day now.
Little coincidence. Sound of freedom actually equals 160 as well. Probably just a coincidence, right? Can't actually mean anything in regards to John Podesta, could it? Because we know John Podesta is a scumbag, pedophile, one of the world's worst evils in regards to children. Just so
Oh, and so is Tim Ballet. Tim Ballet's a piece of shit too. There you go. That must be the connection.
That sound of freedom in simple gematria also equals 160. That's pretty coincidental, but it's not coincidental enough for me. So I want to know a little bit more. What else equals 160? Assassination. Assassination. So we got assassination in 34 coming up as 160 in simple gematria. That is pretty interesting. Okay. All right. Now you got my attention, Phil. What else equals 160? 366. So if you put the words 366 into gematria, that comes out to 160 as well? Where are you going, Phil? Where are you going with this? All right, well, let's do something that Q has often taught us to do, and let's mirror 366. Just, why not? Okay? Let's mirror
I wonder whose post he stole
366, and if we do that, it comes out to 663. We all
to figure all this out.
663. Anyone want to prove me wrong on that? I'll give you a minute. No? Nobody? Okay, great. So we do agree that 366 equals 160 in simple gematria. We also agree that 366 mirrored, which is something that Q has told us to do many, many times, comes out to 663. And if we look at Q drop 663, we find a very, very interesting two-word Q drop. Now, there was some stuff that one of the Anons had put on the chans, and Q often back in the days, you can see this is from February 1st, 2018. Interesting that it was from February, by the way. But nonetheless, often back in the day, Q would reply to someone else's post on 4chan, and he would draw attention to that post because one of the Anons is getting closer on something. Does that remind you guys of anything? Like, does anyone else share posts that someone may be onto something? I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Just saying. But anyway. Woo! Normal me, swear. Anyway, this was one of those things. So the post that...
Normal me, I swear. It's not all the drugs, guys. It's just normal me.
Like, does anyone else share posts that someone may be onto something? I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Just saying. But anyway. Woo! Normal me, swear. Anyway, this was one of those things. So the post that Q responded to was actually up top in drop 663. I took it out for purposes of clarity. But what Q did do was he responded to Anon 232480, and he said two words: Klaus Eberwein. And of course, all the Anons back in the day were like, Klaus Eberwein.
Normal me, guys. I swear. Woo! If you have to keep telling people this is normal me, it's not normal you. Right? These people have watched you for 4 fucking years. If you have to keep telling them, like, I swear, this is me being normal now, then it's not you being normal. Even if this was how you are off drugs or alcohol or something else, then you're still abnormal because the way they normally watch you was on drugs or alcohol or calmed down or whatever the fuck it was. They wouldn't notice a difference if you went from normal to normal. You went from one way, which they expected you to be, their normal, to another way. You can't keep saying I'm normal. I swear.
Well, let's take a look at Klaus Eberwein, because it's a name, obviously, right? There he is. There's Klaus. It's a name right there down below. Klaus Eberwein left, former head of Haitian Government Developmental Agency, found dead Tuesday, July 11th, in a Miami area hotel with a gunshot wound to the head. His death has been ruled a suicide. See up there, that was reported on July 30th, 2019. Pretty interesting, right? July 30th, 2019. Wait a second. July 30th, 2019. 2019? July 30th, 2019? Okay, wait, hold on. Let's scroll back up. February 1st, 2018? So wait a minute, you're telling me that Q mentioned Klaus Eberwein over a year before he was assassinated? Or I'm sorry, wait, he committed suicide, right?
No. What are you trying to do here, Phil? Hold on, let's back up for a second.
Pretty interesting, right? July 30th, 2019. Wait a second. July 30th, the name right there down below. That's all the Anons back in the day. Were like, Klaus Eberwein. Well, let's take a look at Klaus Eberwein, because it's a name, obviously, right? There he is. There's Klaus. It's a name right there down below. Klaus Eberwein left, former head of Haitian Government Developmental Agency, found dead Tuesday, July 11th, in a Miami area hotel with a gunshot wound to the head. His death has been ruled a suicide. See up there, that was reported on July 30th, 2019.
This guy killed himself. I don't think Phil is this dumb. But this is going to be a huge fucking slap in the face because he's got to be this dumb. Okay? This article was updated for some reason on July 30th, 2019. Okay? The Q post mentions him from 2018. But if you do the smallest amount of fucking research about this guy, he killed himself in 2017. A former Haitian government official who is scheduled to testify next week in a case of alleged corruption and malpractice in Clinton Foundation has been found dead in Miami. Klaus Eberwein was reportedly shot himself dead Tuesday in the death, blah, 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 being treated suicide by local authorities. This happened in 2017. Just Google his fucking name and the word death. July 12th, 2017. July 16th, 2017. This happened in July 18th, 2017. Just because it's updated in 2019, you're not going to tell your audience that this all happened in 2019. There's no telling what they updated in the article in 2019. I don't know if it'll actually let you, some of them will let you click on the updates and see why it was updated. Let me see if there's anything at the bottom. Wait. The same page that Phil's on. Hold on. The same page that Phil's on, the Miami Herald. Okay? Same page. Miami Herald. Miami Herald. Let's put them beside each other. The same page that Phil's on, Miami Herald. The whole article, Haiti, former Haitian government official shoots himself in the head, Miami area hotel. If you scroll, he didn't even have to research this. He didn't have to research it. If you just scroll down to the bottom of the article, it says this story was originally published July 12th, 2017 at 3:42 p.m. So now let's listen to Phil's lie about when this happened, when Q predicted it a year after it happened. Yeah, he predicted it, I guess.
Pretty interesting, right? July 30th, 2019. Wait a second. July 30th, 2019. 2019? July 30th, 2019? Okay, wait, hold on. Let's scroll back up. February 1st, 2018? So wait a minute, you're telling
Except the fact that it happened July 12th, 2017. 2017. Half a year before Q posted about it.
me that Q mentioned Klaus Eberwein over a year before he was...
No, 6 months after.
Assassinated? Or I'm sorry, wait. He committed suicide, right? So he committed suicide. Oh, but wait a second. Assassination. 160.
It was 6 months after. Phil, just scroll down to the bottom of the page, you fucking retard. What is wrong with you? You can't keep running around saying you're fucking Edward Snowden and you're fucking Q and you do the Q post and you're in charge of the 5 and we can't expect you to read to the bottom of the fucking article. This wasn't a prediction. This was him talking about it 6 months later. I don't give a fuck, Frida. I don't give a fuck. I don't know why people think, well, I want to tell him that if he didn't curse so much, I could watch him. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. So assassination equals 160 in simple gematria, and then 366 equals 160 in simple gematria. And then if we think mirror, which Q said many times in the Q drops, and we go to 663, drop 663, which occurred on February 1st, 2018, and we look at that drop and it says Klaus Eberwein, and then we look at this, which happened in July of 2019, a full year and a half later, we have Klaus
2017, July of 2017.
Eberwein shooting himself in the head. But we also have
weird
assassination in the same gematria that comes up to Q drop 663, which is mirror 366. Wow, Phil, what the hell? What the hell's going on here?
Almost had it.
It's already enough of a coincidence, I think.
This close, Phil.
Look at the fact that
this close.
This all relates back to drop 34. And as we saw earlier, drop 34 comes out to 160. If you put in 34 in gematria, it comes into 160 simple gematria. And then if you look up, drop 34 comes to Podesta. The arrest announcement of John Podesta. Do I have your attention yet? Great, because it gets worse or better. So there's Klaus looking all Klaus.
Who the fuck do you even think you're talking to?
Like, you know, like wear glasses like I do.
No, yeah, his mouth's awful dirty. Who are you talking to? God? Do it silent prayers.
Really loved his watches. Very expensive watch that he's wearing. And, you know, Haitian government official. So it's cool. It's cool. It's pretty cool. Right? Right? This is from Snopes. Did a former Haitian official commit suicide before the Clinton testimony? Wait a minute. The Clinton testimony? What Clinton testimony? Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, Hillary Clinton was set to, actually, Klaus Eberwein was set to testify against the Clintons regarding their involvement with Haiti and what they were doing down there. You know, the whole Clinton organization, the Clinton Global Initiative, I believe it's called? Okay. And of course, Snopes tells us after Klaus Eberwein's suicide, inevitable links, meaning, oh, they were definitely going to come, to the Clinton body count, rumor emerged. Of course, it was a rumor, you know, but without clear merit. So this has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, right? It can't. But the autists, the anons, are out there saying, well, wait a minute, we know something that you don't know. So these internet rumors, you ever hear those? Internet rumors came out, and it was kind of linking Klaus Eberwein's death to...
He was going to go down as well. Like, why did he kill himself? Because he was going down as well. He was working, I think he was struggling and barely making ends meet working as an Uber driver. He wasn't going to come out of this clean. He was going down for this.
The Clintons in some way. No one really knew how. We did. Why? Because I'll be a son of a bitch. Hillary Clinton in simple gematria comes out to 160. What is happening in my life? So,
except for being off by over 2 years.
This all starts with Q-Drop 34. Okay, John Podesta is mentioning Q-Drop 34. We're not done with Podesta, by the way, tonight. I know we've talked about him a little bit, but we're not done yet. We're not done. We're gonna get there. But I'll start with Q-Drop 34. Put that back on the screen, please. Thank you, Phil. There's Q-Drop 34. See it? Okay, love it. Great. Now, from 34, we're just gonna enter 34 in gematria. You know, just why not? Okay, simple gematria, 160. Got it. Oh, by the way, Sound of Freedom also comes up in 160. We'll talk about that a little later. Assassination comes up in 160. Interesting. Now, you know, assassination is tied somehow to drop 34, at least in the sense that they are linked through gematria. 366, if you enter those words or those numbers into gematria.
Oh my God. How many times are you going to recap
this? A little
this?
something creative like we've been taught to do and say, hey, 366, mirror that. 663, Klaus Eberwein, I'll be a son of a bitch. Now, not only so far is Podesta somehow tied to this because it comes out to 160, but also Klaus Eberwein is now tied to drop 34 via gematria. Okay? And wow, look at that. He died. How did he die? Suicide. But right after that suicide, now keep in mind, Klaus Eberwein was mentioned by Q a year and a half before this suicide. Okay? I just want to put that out there because I don't know if that matters or not. But Anon's hopped on this. Anon's hopped on it and boom.
If someone's holding you hostage, give me their name. I'll go look them up. Fuck.
We think Hillary's somehow involved. Why do we think that? Well, maybe it has something to do with this. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's look at 034, which is drop 034. Why don't we just do the same thing? Why don't we mention, think mirror again. Why don't we mirror 034? Why don't we just, you know, look at it a little bit differently? Not only mirror it this way, but let's mirror it this way as well. Let's take it vertically mirrored and horizontally mirrored. And what do we get?
Horizontal mirror.
Okay. Let's look at 340. Why is Q on December 22nd, 2017 telling us about North Korea? Why does 034 and 340 have anything to do with North Korea? How does it relate to a bank and financial leverage? How does that relate to Klaus Eberwein? What is Q?
That's not even 340. That's 430. So you stuck a 0 in front of 34, then you called it 340, but you're on post 430.
You're trying to tell us
almost. Almost.
What on earth does plateful mean? Are these words and areas that we should be looking at much deeper? I think so. I think so. And I understand, by the way, yeah, if you mirror it.
Frida really showed me. I'm in bed. Good night to listen to him, but I've got better things to listen to. The Bible! Sorry, I kept you away from God's words, Frida. May Queezus be with you.
One way, you get 430, but if you mirror it both ways, you get 034. And from 034, you get 340. So we can do it both ways. Okay, there's two ways to mirror. You can mirror this way, or you can invert it and mirror it the other way. That's what we did. Okay, I know a lot of you guys aren't used to the whole process that we go through, but I'm bringing up this drop in particular.
Well, they're probably confused because you wrote two different things here and called them the same. 034, 430, 340. Those are not, none of those numbers are the same.
Drop number 430 because it relates. I know I have 340 on the screen. That's obviously a typo. You want me to fix it? Will it make you feel better if I fix it? Okay, there you go. Everybody happy now? Yay! No more complaining. All right. Look at that. Look at that. We get 430. Now, also interesting, another very related post to post number 430 is post number 340. We're not going to get into that yet. We're going to save it for a little while. And there's a reason we're going to.
Okay, so that was a mistake on purpose because there's a com.
Save it. But yay! Everybody saying yay in the chat. Yay! Look what we did. We fixed it. Everyone saying thank you.
Look how fucking felted he is because his chat noticed he fucked up.
We get 430. Now, also interesting. Yay! No more complaining. All right. Look at that. Look at that. We get 430. Now, also interesting, another very related post to post number 430 is post number 340.
He's got one of those funhouse mirrors.
We're not going to get into that yet. We're going to save it for a little while. And there's a reason we're going to save it. But yay! Everybody saying yay in the chat. Yay! Look what we did. We fixed it. Everyone saying thank you. That was confusing. Oh, I feel so good. Isn't that good? It's so good. Okay. 034 mirrored one way is 430, which is the drop that we have on the screen. We'll talk about 340 another time. That's going to drop your consciousness as well. So let's move on. Here's another one. that when you look at the results for 160, and there's a reason why I mentioned this drop, by the way, I don't want to browse over it too quickly. I want you to look at this drop and look at it very, very closely. And I also want you to watch words that come out in the next 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. I want you to watch the words that come out of certain people's mouths in the next 7 days.
Okay.
As a confirmation.
7 days, watch the words.
Of what you're seeing tonight is not bullshit, and it's not some ill-fated attempt for Phil to have a live stream and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Watch. Watch what these words in this drop mean, and watch where they come from. By the way, anyone run a plate full through Gematria? Just wondering. Anyway, let's not talk about that just yet. Let's move on. Let's move on. But keep this drop in mind. Don't forget about this drop. I want you to remember this drop, and I want you to watch the words that come out of people's mouths in the next 7 days. Okay? We'll talk about that later. Let's move on.
7 days. That's all you got. 7 days.
Enter the words 3, 6, and 6 into Gematria, and you come up with, well, look at that. Another 160. Pretty interesting, huh? 3, 6, 6. What's this? What's this? What's this? Q made it a point to highlight these Anon posts on 4chan. You can see that this drop, 366, was on December 18, 2017. Interesting date, by the way. And you can see that a couple Anons in this particular highlight were referenced by Q to say, hey, you're on something there. Okay, we're going to look at this one. We're going to look at Tom Hanks. That's a very interesting name in that post. You'll see why in a little while. And they're also going to look down here. We're going to look at Splash. Missile time of flight is expiring, or missile destroyed, target or bomb impact. And then we're going to look at Fox 3, two very interesting terms. Simulated/actual launch of active radar-guided missiles. 366.
Splash has nothing to do with missile time. Splash would be it's calculating the time of flight for it's not missile time expiring. It's calculated time of flight for when artillery or whatever hits the ground. Right. Splash over, splash out.
Drop 366. K. North Korea, Iran, tech, nuke, WMD, North Korea capability plus Iran, mentions John Brennan, nuke development plateful. Iran funded by the U.S. Okay. Why is Iran protected? Bank financial leverage? North Korea clowns with capital C. Oh, what? Kind of like the clown show? I never heard of that before. Very interesting. Very interesting. How this post, 430 and 034, which keep in mind, 34 in Gematria comes up to 160, right? Simple Gematria. And also 160 in Simple Gematria comes to 366. Drop 366, wrong way. Drop 366 mentions missiles.
I think it doesn't have anything to do with missiles as far as I know. We got, well, I guess Splash 1, like when you're firing missiles from a fucking aviation platform. In artillery, they usually give it 5 seconds before known impact, time of impact, and they'll say splash over, and when you see it, splash out.
And terminology for missiles. Why did Q choose to highlight these particular posts from other nuns in Drop 366? Did it have anything to do with the Gematria on 366, which also related to Drop 34, which also related, if you think mirror, to Drop 430, mentioning Iran and North Korea, also mentioning the words splash, perhaps big splash? What about the movie Splash? Has that actor Tom Hanks in it? The movie Splash? Anyone ever seen the movie Splash? No? That's a movie you should watch. Okay. All right. By the way, for those of you that just simply do not understand Gematria, Gematria is a biblical way to assign, biblical or ancient way to
biblically
assign letters,
biblically,
assign numbers to words.
Biblically.
So B is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, and so on, all the way up to Z. So
trying to get it right for Doug.
Anytime you have a group of letters making words, you could seemingly take those words and correlate them to a certain number. In this case, we're focused tonight, especially.
Imagine if you imagine when you use Gematria and you type in a word, it comes up with hundreds of other fucking words, and they just pick the ones they think. How? God tells them. God's a big Q-tard. He tells them which words to pick. Who in their right mind would trust someone else to decode this? And instead of being like, okay, you take this word, decode it, and it equals this word. You take this word, decode it, and it equals thousands of other fucking words, and you just pick which one's right.
On drop number 34 and how drop number 34 in John Podesta relates to upcoming ongoings. So that's what we're doing. So those of you that don't know what Gematria is, it's actually quite easy.
Biblically.
That's the fancy. I can do Gematria in my head. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Did you ever see me do those car videos?
Oh, he does Gematria in his head. You guys know that? He does. Phil does Gematria in his head. Guaranteed he can't.
In which I say, by the clock of the morning, yet shall be under the sun. By the time the shelter is risen. You ever see me do that in a car and then I just go off for like 10 minutes doing it and they're like, he's crazy, I knew it. No. What I'm actually doing is telling you something.
No. He's crazy, I knew. No. What I'm doing is complicated Gematria math.
Completely different, but I'm using Gematria as I'm doing it. So I'm saying certain words that have certain numbers associated with that particular word, but the number that I'm giving you is for another word. And if you go back to some of those videos, you may now actually be able to tie what I was saying in that video to something that happened either that day or the next day. Or
sure you can.
Never more than a week. How do I know that? Because I remember.
Just have chat randomly. Just have chat randomly call out words. You put their comments as soon as you click on them, put them on the screen, and you tell us the Gematria for it. Then, if you're doing it that in your head, then you can do that. 100% you can.
Things that I say in that manner and in that profession, well, you better surround yourself with people that are, because you're missing a lot. And if you do gematria in the way that I do it, and you are able to do it in your head, the way that I'm able to do it in my head, it will open a whole world of communication to you that you've never ever recognized before. The beauty of gematria is, if I say a word that equals 160, for example, like what we're doing tonight, if I say a word that equals 160.
Yes, because so the way those platforms work, which is smart for them, I mean, they get more viewers, is let's say I type in a word and it comes out to 270. Then you click on 270 and see all the other words that are attached to 270. First of all, it records every word that's been typed in. So if I type in Phil Godlewski and it comes out to 270, it would record that. Second of all, the most clicked on words are at the top of the list. It has nothing to do with like it matching better or being related or whatever. Like if everybody's typing in cigarette lighter and then they type that in and they get book of matches, that's going to be the number one, even though fucking fresh dog shit was originally the one that popped up first. Everybody clicked book of matches, so that's the one that comes up first. Not to mention, if you go and put people's name, even Cold Beer Confessional comes up on some of them. I don't know if it's because my fans were making jokes or people actually fucking searched it, but the most interacted with words are at the top of the list.
60. There's a lot of words that equal 160. That's why we use it. Wow, playful equals Godlewski in gematria. How about that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? 60. If I say a word that equals 160, for example, like what we're doing tonight, if I say a word that equals 160, there's a lot of words that equal 160. That's why we use it.
That's why we use it. So when we're trying to get a very, very important, secure message across, I want you to guess the meaning of it out of tens of thousands of other words. That way I know you got it for sure.
Wow, playful.
No one uses this. No one uses this. There's a more complicated version that Jewish people used to use to hide stuff from their oppressors when they lived in, you know, like slave nations and shit. That actually uses the order the words are in. And instead of, it's not simple gematria, right? And it's a lot more precise, and they could hide things and certain words. Still wasn't perfect. But yeah, the Jewish version of it is a lot better if you're trying to lead someone to a very specific word.
Equals Godlewski in gematria. How about that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Is it not? Who wrote that drop? I'll give him a big thumbs up for putting my name in there somehow. Great job. Although, you know, then again, probably just coincidence. Just like, you know, the unlocked boxes thing. So this one says, you are not God. Okay, great. Yeah, because I said I was God.
Yeah, it's not from the Bible either. You're right.
Anyway, so yeah, I would go take a look back at some of those videos that I did, and then that might actually blow your mind into pieces, and you'll never be able to recover. So maybe you shouldn't. It shouldn't be frustrating, guys. It shouldn't be frustrating. It should be fun. We're approaching the finish line. And oh, by the way, finish line and green light are actually 105 in gematria. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. What else is 105? Doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move on here. So we got Splash. We got talk about North Korea, Iran, financial, banking, you know, the U.S. funding this. We know that Obama sent what?
So basically the way it's done is if you have A, B, C, A would be 1, B would be 2, and C would be 3. That'd be 6, right? A, B, C would be 6. Now, can Phil do that in his head? Absolutely not. Not while he's just rattling off words about the green glass door, whatever the fuck he's doing. There's no goddamn way. Nobody's doing that shit in their head.
What? Couple trillion, few $1 trillion in a plane on what was called pallets, wooden pallets and cash? Obama sent that overtime, right? Remember that? Remember that? That's, you know, I remember it, and of course everybody remembers it. But, you know, by the way, if we go down and we look a little bit further here, look at that. Barack Obama. 160. Can you imagine that? 160, Barack Obama financed Iran, sent $3 trillion there on pallets. Wow. But like, how much of a coincidence is it that Barack Hussein Obama also equals 160? And then of course the tie-in.
And misspell everything. Right. Yeah, they drop zeros because they mean nothing. Sometimes they'll add the numbers together. Sometimes they won't add a certain number. Sometimes they'll misspell it on purpose because, oh, they didn't want everybody to get this one. You know, you had to purposely misspell it.
To 160 reference financing, especially if you look at, again, let's go back. So we got Barack Hussein Obama on the screen right now. Forget about Vladimir Putin. We'll get to him in a minute. Barack Hussein Obama on the screen right now, right? And that equals, in simple gematria, 160. If you assign the number 2 to the B in Barack's name, and you assign the number 1 to the A, and then so forth, the R and the A and the K and all that stuff. If you do all that, gematria comes up.
Wait, you couldn't even do R? He couldn't even get R. He got B and A.
was up to 160 in simple gematria. We're on the same page there, right? Okay. If we go back and we look at 366, which also equals 160, and then we look at drop 366, and it talks about simulated or actual launches of active radar guided missiles, right? And then if we go back up a little bit further and we take 034, now remember 034 in gematria, the number 34, also equals 160. See that there? And then if we take 034 and we mirror 034, that comes to 430, right? And if we look at drop 430, this drop is very specifically talking about Iran, North Korea missiles, as well as in this line, where is it? Right here, bank financial leverage, and then it talks about why is Iran funded by the U.S. So 430 mirrored is 034, 34 in gematria equals 160. But yet, if we look at 160 in gematria, the guy that actually sent trillions of dollars over to Iran, which was mentioned in drop 430, also equals 160. What the heck is going on there? Yeah, I know Barack's name is spelled with a C. Why is there missing C? Does that have any significance in anything? Let's say that one for later. I also know that Hillary's name.
They actually misspelled the name there. They misspelled the name there. That's what I was just getting ready to point out. They actually misspelled the name there in the thing to get 160. Because it's actually 163, because if you add that C, C is the third placeholder in the alphabet, right? It's actually 163. So he had to misspell Obama to get the 3. Obama. I wonder why that C's missing. We'll get to that later. There's an extra C somewhere else. Down by the C. I don't know what just happened. All my fucking shit went black, but let me see if I can refresh this. 128.33 is where we're at. 128.
These new adjustable glasses are taking...
That's exactly what I needed was a couple ads from fucking Rumble.
Buying a new pair of glasses...
They have the worst fucking ads. No one wants a duck camouflage Trump hat. Are you kidding me?
Name spelled with a C. Why is there missing C? Does that the guy that actually sent trillions of dollars over to Iran, which was mentioned in drop 430, also equals 160?
Barack. B-A-R-A-K. You have to take the C out. So literally, we were just talking about how they fucking misspell shit or whatever. You have to take the C out of his name to even get this results.
What the heck is going on there? Yeah, I know Barack's name is spelled with a C. Why is there missing C? Does that have any significance in anything? Let's say that one for later. I also know that Hillary's name oftentimes spelled with 2 L's. So we got a missing C and a missing L.
Misspelled Hillary as well.
Or a missing L and a missing C if you want to do it the other way. I wonder what. Is that interesting? Is anyone else interested in that? Because I am. Why are there missing letters just by one? Okay, let's push that over there on the side just for a little while because we're talking about it again. But let's go back. So we're talking about 366, of course, being 160 in simple gematria, and then we're also talking about.
That's right. You have to take an L out of Hillary, Hillary, to get 160. This shit isn't even real, dude. Let's just spell it however we want until it hits the right number. Let's just spell it however the fuck we want until it hits the right number, and then we're good to go.
Q drop 366, and we're talking about Splash, and we're talking about a code name, Splash, for a particular title that means something else. Okay, and in this particular case, we're talking about the missile time of flight is expired or the missile has been destroyed. Okay, let's move on. 314. That's another number. 314, right? 314 comes to 160. How about that? You got all these things. 314 comes to 160 in simple gematria. So, if we look at Q drop 314 from December 9, 2017, be the autist we know you are. It's about to break. Okay. And that's probably just a coincidence. I'm sure there's nothing else to that at all.
Here's some other things that have 160 in them. Detroit Lions, successful life. You're welcome. Los Angeles Rams, the time is now. Divine Masculine, Observatory, Rose Quartz, Assassination, Planet Fitness, Power Mad, Sadism, 43 or 430, District 2, God Loves You, Pay Attention, Erdogan, Freemason, A Son of Kronos, I'm an Innocent Man, Halloween, Samhain, 366, Project Serpo, Aliens Hate Fakery, Atheism is a Cult, Vladimir Putin, Big Changes Are Coming, Timothy Paul, Hillary Clinton misspelled, Soft Skin also, Barack Hussein Obama misspelled, Stephen Hawking, Pistis Sophia, A Perfect Phone Call, Tayyip Erdogan, Subconscious, Helicopter Crash, Never Forgiven, This Is Not a Game, Now is the Time, Time Traveler, 2000, I Am Your Father, Helga Rosina Bayer, Clint Eastwood, 186. So we keep going? We are. A astro symbol, mark my words. Eileen Ann Jameson, exclamation mark, the essence of man H. Marco Bermotho, a Project Monarch. Squirrelism, the worship of squirrels. Squirrelism. Little Boy Blue, Meat, Dinah, Lip, K. Lord. Anna Louise Logan, the Restrainer. Lisdexaphentamine, Make America Great Again. This is Master, United Airlines, Normal Person, False Prophets, Theragrippers, 12 Tribes, Super Meat Boy. You guys didn't even know I was in the Q Drops, did you? Super Meat Boy, my nickname in high school. Shimmer Limrot, Investments, 34. I'll Take You On, Decode My Brother, Michael Ray Haunted, God Protects Me, Grand Theft Auto, Satan's Racial War, Economics Collapse, 314, Synchronized, Brad Joseph Minger, One White Glove, James Kamala Harris, I Am Your Father, I Don't Need Women, Pfizer Data Dump, DNA Activation Code, 88 miles per hour, Jimmy Oswalt, Distribution, Calculate Yeshua C, 45-1, ONE1. Patty Bolton. Claude Eanthropical. Bose Haas Gematria. Simon Curtis. China, big earthquake. Let's skip way ahead and see what we got on like page 36. By the way, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these pages. Arantium Gall. Sensualize. Farimer Synede. Force the Hatches. God Kills Devils. Gravitas Decadum. Holy of Holies. How's the Queen. I am anti-Saturn. I love this home. I warned you all. Immune evasion. Indeed, why try? Inner tube hazer. Invisible college. That invisible college, that might be about Phil. Last week's milk. Oh, strawberry milk, isn't it? Joe robbing it Biden. Kid XXIXDLIVH. That's a good one. Laurel Wheat Con. Marijuana, misspelled. Sativa. Meme Filthy Orgy. Mime Filthy Orgy. I was going to say meme misspelled, but it's got to be mime, right? My Little A the Babe. Planet Fitness, one word. Pope Benedict XV. President Donald. Project Ropes. QC Bring the Pain Q. So much going on. Star Spark. Suction Cups. Ooh. It's getting kinky now. The Bread Serpent. The Roman Empire. Tyrannosaurio. Way misspelled. Why am I so alone? That's the question you should be asking your self-chat 160. Why am I so alone? Why can't I sleep? Word of words. A snake, by the way. Activation codes. A final warning comm. Benjamin Faircloth. Better be Talmudic. Cancer Centaurus. Cara Sora Bowl. Cetus Octurus. I feel like I'm doing Harry Potter spells now. Charles Battenberg. Crazy and diabolical. Delusion teaches. Well, let's jump way ahead now. 161. How many pages of this do you think there are? There's 261 pages of these results. Alter mankind's DNA. Always loving. Emerus Cantatote. Emimus Dolores. Americans face genocide. An act of Congress. An adult elemental. Anna Paula Vulpes. Andy Brown Allen, Andy Kaufman alive, Angelina Reinhardt, and Anala Bus Factus. Apes kill Melvin. Now that is a good comm. Who's Melvin? We don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll decode it. Apes kill Melvin. Aptitude test. Actoros delir. Area religions a lie. Arabat. Adicio. Latedum. Ashley K. Seahorn. B, the letter B, blessed, and letter B, favored. Back home with Iran. Banned. Ben Kearney sucks. Benjamin, I rigged name. Benjamin Watson. Beware of events. Beyond the Jordan. Biden Harris COVID. Big Riley Iowa HR. Big splashy rain. There's a comm right there. Big splashy rain. Biggest bass ever. Black men are not God. Well, that sounds like that got racist quick. Blanket of clouds. Blasian girlfriend. Blower Falk Tobias. Bless the Vatican. Oh no. Bless the Vatican. That goes against everything you've ever said. BLK Tesla, May 10. Blob is Richie Rich. Blood Jesus Plead. Bob Livingston. Bully Point BP. Brad H is a bridge guy. You guys know Brad H? He's a big bridge guy. Brad lets her do it. Braemars, Boonheads. Brand new mommy. That's what the kids are getting for Christmas this year, I think. Brand new mommy. What's the last page like? Just fucking random letters. I'm T, the letter T. Jusa Habolo. I'm the messenger. Embedded in water is. In tough times. Jade Elise is queen. Jakarta to Warren. James Brian Lewis. J Rumor Fix. Jean Householder. Jesus never died. Jesus Christ, the letter I. JFK Jr. 9/11. JFK Jr. returned. Nutnin das Beste. Christos Deuce. Landfill worker.
Yeah, I should forget about that. No one's talking about it. Whoa, look at that Rolling Stone. How about that? Rolling Stone. Does that mean like a round stone that like rolls? What is it? I don't know. I mean, it could. I guess it could. Right? It's like a Rolling Stone. You push it and it rolls. And you're like, look at the Rolling Stone. I don't think that's what it means, though.
There's more than 261 pages. I think that's just all auto-generated because we only got to the P's.
Oh, there's a band called the Rolling Stones. That's not the same, though, right? Rolling Stone. So it can't be a rock that rolls. Would it? Rock and roll? That'd be interesting, though. Wouldn't it? Rock and roll? Well, if it's not a rock that rolls, Rolling Stone, that would be pretty interesting because Rolling Stones were a rock band. How about that? Rolling Stone. Rock that rolls. Okay. I don't know if we're onto anything there. Maybe we are.
Is it the Rolling Stone magazine that wrote an article about you being a PGF file?
But regardless of any of that, Rolling Stone in simple geometry equals 160. Wow. Another thing that equals 160, and there's many, there are like 12 pages, I think, of simple geometry results that equal 160, but this stuff is really good. Anyway, John Podesta is ready to talk about Pizzagate. Really? You ready to talk about Pizzagate? Are you sure? What? You want to talk about Pizzagate? I don't think you do, though. But if you're going to talk about it with anyone, it might as well be Rolling Stone magazine, right? Because they really, really hate humanity. So the former Clinton campaign chairman is among the victims, still recovering from a vile conspiracy theory that ended in gunfire. Oh, gunfire? Ended in gunfire? Really? That's such a shame. What about kids being raped and tortured and trafficked and sold?
Yeah, but if that's not happening, then the gunfire's the biggest. Wow. Imagine someone breaks into Phil's house and guns down his entire family. And someone's like, and Phil's the only survivor. And Phil's like, I can't believe it come to gunfire. And I'm like, yeah, but what about kicking orphans in the head until they're fucking dead 3,000 times a day? Does that justify? Are we even now? Are we good? We're all good now, right? What the fuck? Oh, gunfire. What about the kids that don't exist? Oh, okay. Seems kind of like you jumped the gun there a little bit, but okay. I already have the breed document.
Well, taken away from the parents, never to be seen again. How about, does anyone know the number of kids that actually go missing every single month in the United States? Well, maybe not anymore, but that did. Yeah, numbers about anywhere between 50,000 and 70,000 in the United States alone. That's how many kids went missing every month. Every month, that many children went missing, never to be found again. But, pardon me, I don't want to take anything away from the vile conspiracy theory that ended in gunfire. But month anymore, but that did. Yeah, numbers about anywhere between 50,000 and 70,000 in the United States alone. That's how many kids went missing every month.
Wrong.
Month.
None of these have ever been true. None of these numbers have ever been
found
true.
Again. But
never to be found again. Even he goes above and beyond these missing kids numbers that are way overinflated. Again, I wish no kid went missing, but we can't just fucking lie about the numbers. And then if anybody questions where you got the numbers from, say, "Oh, I guess you just support kids going missing." No, but if we're going to talk about the numbers, we have to talk about the actual numbers. And if we're talking about the actual numbers, those are not true.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the...
Could you imagine if 70 to 80,000 kids were going missing every fucking month, never to be seen again? How long would it be before you're like, holy shit, 3 of my friends' kids are just gone without a trace?
Vile conspiracy theory that ended in gunfire. I'd much rather talk about that, Rolling Stone, than I would about John Podesta raping, torturing, and killing children for a living. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about, this vile conspiracy theory, because that is dangerous. The timing of his reported suicide.
That didn't happen.
Quite interesting,
again.
not? Now, I mean, by the way, my feed is drastically getting attacked right now. I can see all the little flags going off here, and all the software I got open shows me what's happening.
He's being attacked, guys.
They're failing, and in some cases they're getting froze up, which cures itself, but they're not disconnecting me at all. They really don't want to talk about this stuff, do they? Nope. That just goes to show you that people who are on the other side, they know that I have authorization to talk about this stuff, and they don't like it, and they don't want to talk about it. They want this to be hidden forever.
Yeah, but this is like the only show that this ever happened on. So all the other shit you were talking about was just bullshit, and they didn't give a fuck about.
I got news for you. That's not gonna happen.
Unless this happens, like, that no one's ever going to prove any of this to me. Like Bert's like, I guess he doesn't understand that Facebook doesn't like Republicans who sing and con people, or whatever he says. Unless you can prove to me that every time you say the word Podesta, your fucking shit cuts out, I'm not going to believe you.
If you think that the fall of the cabal means simply
just too convenient,
that the cabal is no longer going to be in power, and we're going to usher in a new regime that helps humanity, gets us out of debt, stops preying on us like we are slaves. Essentially, that's what we are, right? Slavery ended, blah, blah, blah. No, slavery never ended. We just
gets us out of debt. As long as you don't lose it all, you better invest it with me at Goldco.
You're a slave. You've been a slave your whole life. There's nothing you can do about it. There has to be a group that does something about it for you. And people like me sit here in front of a microphone and take all the abuse that I take. You know what's funny?
He's abused.
I'll allude to it very quickly. I know you guys don't want me to talk about it, but the deeper I get into these defamation cases against the Scranton Times, against Breed Borgel, against the upcoming one with Nick Alvear, the deeper I get into them, the closer I'm looking at my 2008-2009 case. And honestly, I was not only falsely accused back then, I was friggin' set up. I was framed, and I was supposed to be taken down, and I wasn't taken down.
They tried to move in back in 2008, 2009 because they didn't want him cornering the market on Italian herbs and cheese bread selection at the Subway. I watched an interview with him one time, and I think I even maybe brought this up to him when I talked to him or something. He said that he owned multiple restaurant chains. You guys remember him saying that at some point?
25 years or more. So that means that we've only served maybe 10 or 15 years so far to this day. And honestly, I didn't know how deep the attempt to get me was until I started getting into this defamation stuff. Now I know. Because we've uncovered stuff that is, let me just give you an example. We've uncovered exculpatory evidence that was being hidden from my legal team. Exculpatory meaning it would have completely got me off. And
ooh, bad phrasing. Exculpatory meaning once I looked at this, I got completely off.
The other side, the prosecution side, had this evidence before my arrest. So the whole thing was an improper arrest from the beginning. And when you look at how that exculpatory evidence got covered up, I don't even know what to say. It's real life manipulation of someone's.
They were trying to take him down back then.
I can't wait for it to come out of trial. I mean, I'm so excited. It's not even funny. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. These guys run around saying these defamatory things, and they have absolutely no idea what we have that we've uncovered in discovery.
Yeah, but that doesn't help your case any. If you're a public person, right? You have a public persona, a public official or whatever. It doesn't matter that they're saying these things that you think are defamatory because again, that your lawyer's hiding, even if this were true. Even if your lawyer had everything to prove that you're 100% innocent, because you have to prove that they should have known, that they did know it was false or should have known it was false with a disregard for the truth because of an actual malice standard. So saying like, they don't even know all the stuff. My lawyer's got all this stuff that makes me look completely innocent. Doesn't matter to any of your cases.
Literal exculpatory evidence. I'm so focused on the Scranton Times lawsuit and putting Bree in her place once and for all and all this stuff for her lies. But what I should really be focused on is a massive lawsuit against Lackawanna County. So, here I sit in front of a microphone telling you things that they don't want you to hear. How many times have they tried to silence me so far? Can you count?
It says it contains abusive things. Uh-oh.
Going all the way back to 2008.
I don't know. Facebook's weird. That's why I barely broadcast there.
Just keep coming back. You know what I mean?
I keep telling people to leave Facebook and watch somewhere else because I get banned from Facebook all the time.
Just like that itch you can't scratch.
I bet you I got banned 10 times last year.
So, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, was a reintroduction of what you're in for in the coming days and weeks.
Uh-oh.
And I'm happy to say that we're
a reassociation.
We're back. We're finally back. And I've been waiting for this day for a long, long time. But
Phil, by the way, I didn't want to say anything, but you know how much I love Nick Alvear and agree with him on his, toe potion and the fact that he thinks Joe Biden is a clone and Donald Trump's still the secret president, and he thinks the Khazarians are secretly running the world because the evil Jews and his good friend Dr. Z and Jason Q, and we're all teamed up together, and I really like those guys, and I wanted to be part of their team and get their audience and be on their interview and in their movie, but I didn't because you were going to pay me. Your check bounced, so I feel like I really sold my friends out. The people we have a common goal, me and Nick Alvear, and I feel like I sold them out and your check bounced. So everybody can see it. Looking at my body of work, I'm basically good line films, but funny. Okay, so I kind of went against the grain there, and your check bounced. So if you could send another one out, transfer some money, maybe the bank will run it again. I don't know. I really would rather not you send me any financial records because we know your history of that. But if you could clear it up for me, I'd appreciate it.
You could expect a major uptick in some very, very interesting pieces of intel to come very, very soon. And how's this all going to play out? If that's your question.
Oh, not your video. Phil's on from Rumble.
Trump and
Facebook doesn't like Rumble videos at all.
The arrest and when's the unsealed indictments and when can we scratch
it? It doesn't even like my Rumble links.
I don't know. And I think that's what's exciting. It's exciting to see how this plays out. But what I do know is it's coming down. And again, I said this many times before. I wouldn't have necessarily done it the way that the White House have done it, but I see now. I see what they've done. And I've said this to you before, and I've always had this. All right, enough of that.
Looks like he was just going to beat it off on his chest. I don't know. He's hoping to catch it with his pecs.
I've always had this feeling, and I've said this to you before, that no matter how hard it's been for you for the last 4 years since the election fraud and Trump took office and all that stuff,
it's been harder for Phil.
I've said that when we get to the end of it, you're going to, believe it or not, I know it's hard because a lot of us lost loved ones, me included. Plus all the other stuff we lost.
Where's the end of it? We're just going for another election, bro.
Chips and whatever. I've always said that you were going to sit there when it all concludes and you're going to say, you know what? Son of a bitch was right. It was worth it. And you know what I realized over the last few days or last week? I was right. I was right. It is going to be worth it. You don't see that yet. And I understand that. I'm not expecting you to sit there right now and say, yeah, it was worth it. Yet. But I know something you don't know.
Did he just watch The Wolf of Wall Street for the first time or something?
All right, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. I know it seemed like a whole lot of, hurry up, let's do this, look here, look there, 160, 34, 430, mirror this, mirror that, jump, that's the pizza, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But I think you should rewatch the live. Because we need you now more than ever.
Okay, we need you, Patriot.
Drop.
Time to tap in.
What did it say before it's about the break? Yeah. Remember that it's about the break? Drop. What did it say before it's about the break? Yeah. Good night, everybody. I'll see you Friday, March 1st. I'll be here with bells on. Have a good night.
I can't believe we're almost in March. Oh, fuck Phil, by the way. I don't understand the people that thought that I would align with Nick Alvear. I was still thinking about that. Like, this is why my audience knows that you're an idiot and you'll never be the same. By the way, shout out to my nephew. He actually had his kid. I mentioned it on the show yesterday. I should have said it at the start of the show, but he actually had his kid. They're still over at the hospital. He was born incredibly early. So keep them your thoughts or prayers or whatever you do. I guess that he's basically they're both staying in the hospital like 24 hours a day. I asked them today if I could send them something to eat or help them out with something, or I don't really know what to do, but shout out to them. Let's see. I downloaded the document for the briefcase. Let's see what it is. Phil Godlewski, plaintiff, Bree DeBurgle. And now, this 20th day of February 2024, it is hereby ordered the motion for stay of wealth discovery and imposition of restrictions filed by plaintiff Phil Godlewski is granted in part, denied in part, as follows. As the motion to permit asset interrogatories and requests for production of documents filed by Bree was unopposed by plaintiff and thus resulted in the entry by this court of our order dated September 25th, 2023, permitting leave of court to conduct wealth discovery as allowed by Rule 403.7 of the Pennsylvania Rules is denied. So, as the motion to permit asset interrogatories and requests for production of documents filed by Bree was unopposed by plaintiff and thus resulted in the entry by this court dated blah, blah, blah. So there's already an entry in the court. It's denied. Okay. As Rule 403.7 requires the imposition of appropriate restrictions as to the time and scope of discovery and the dissemination of the material discovered, plaintiff's motion is granted as follows. To the extent discovery is sought for a temporal period, the look back is limited to 2 years, which precede the date on which the discovery was propounded. Okay. To the extent discovery seeks information concerning plaintiff's wealth, the term wealth is revised to more accurately seek plaintiff's net worth. Okay. Thereby allowing for consideration of plaintiff's liabilities as well as gross income or assets. So they want his net worth, not his wealth. And they're going to let it go back 2 years. To the extent net worth discovery is produced, it shall be made subject to a protected order limited to dissemination. So he doesn't want it out there. So he wants it protected, and his how much he makes not out there, because he's vastly over exaggerating how much he makes. Subject to the restrictions set forth above in paragraph 2A through C, plaintiff is directed to provide answers to the net worth discovery propounded upon him within 30 days. So he's got to provide answers for his net worth discovery. Request for documents, PAC 4003. Plaintiff's motion is denied. As per the motion to permit asset interrogatories and request for production of documents filed by Bree was unopposed by plaintiff and thus resulted in the entry of the court, blah, 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 permitting leave of court to conduct wealth discovery as allowed by Rule 4, blah, blah, blah. Plaintiff's motion is denied. So it seems like she filed something to permit asset interrogatories and requests. Phil never responded. It was unopposed by the plaintiff. And then they already made a court order. And now that he's asking, hey, let's not do this, it's already denied. The court order is already in place. And then the granted parts are 2 years, net worth, and he wants it sealed away from everybody so you can't see it. And he's got 30 days to answer, it would seem. 30 days to answer the... 30 days to answer the income shit. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get to see that. The document before that was on my birthday, actually. Entry of appearance of Kimberly L. Best. So we found out that he's got this new lawyer coming on. That's Kimberly L. Best. But that's just Tim Bowers' wife. So I don't think that that's a big deal. Like, it's not like he hired a new lawyer. Tim Bowers just sent his wife in his place. They work at the same firm. They bill the same hours. They do everything else. So There you go. Either way, I guess thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's Phil's latest. I'll go through those other ones that he's done. I think there's 2 more that he's done. See if there's anything of importance. I doubt it. I didn't even think he was making posts or making videos. I know he's making a bunch of posts and, you know, manic posting and interference and deleting posts and putting posts back and calling out Nick and then deleting them or whatever the fuck was going on. But it didn't seem like he was even putting out videos. So Mariah's like, when are you going to cover Phil's videos? And I was like, did he put one out before tonight? I saw he was going live tonight. And she's like, oh, yeah, he did. But I had no idea. Either way, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm out of here tonight. You guys don't do anything Phil would do because it's probably a fucking lie. Consider supporting the show while we're offline. The show's 100% funded by you guys. 100% funded by you guys. And that's how we keep it going. So you covered the domain that Nick Alvear thinks he's a network engineer because he bought quantumfilms.com. Phil's already got a website. He wasn't going to buy a new website. He was going to use his root website, which is philgodlewski.live. So he's just using quantumfilms.com quantumfilms.philgodlewski.live. But it doesn't take a network engineer to forward a website. Thank you guys for joining us. Support the show while we're offline. Consider it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Yeah. Come check us out. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with some new content. I got to get back on a Patreon schedule. I got to get back on a regular schedule. I'm going to take some days off because I think I want to do some skits and some recorded videos. But yeah, we'll be here for it. Thank you guys for joining us, the support you showed tonight, hanging out with me. We'll see you guys on the next one. I know we got such a small audience, but at least I can rest assured that no one's trying to tell me that fucking dinosaurs don't exist, because instead they are fucking dragons. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
We'll be looking for Phil's movie to come out. We'll probably review it on the channel.
Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't.
I guarantee you, if I was Phil, I would make a huge point out of Nick Alvear saying, you know, there's a lot of flexibility here. Have you seen 15-year-olds nowadays? I would make a huge fucking deal out of that. 3 days before he decided that God wanted him to take him down because he was a danger to Pennsylvania, he's defending him and saying, have you seen 15-year-olds nowadays? Weird. Phil, if you're going to steal any of my content, that'd probably be a good shot to hit him with.
Alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set.
Lubricated autistic toes. Films.com.
When I was high on shrooms, I found myself a
Well lubricated autistic tootsies. Films.com. I'm just spitballing some ideas for my new venture.
Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously.
Where we tow one, we tow all.
All right. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God.
Lubetism Toes. Films.com. Welcome to the Lubetism Toes Den. Guys. We'll show all the receipts. Every dime.
Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking, he was doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you.
Working.